Man, life is a funny thing. Funnier than shit. Jimmy the Bag, how you doing? Welcome all low baggers. Look what happened. The Low Bag Show back in action. You can't keep us down, Jimmy the Bag. You can't. COVID, holiday seasons. You can't keep us down. We keep coming back. We keep doing that. We got persistence. You know, that's what they say. They say the most important thing in life is persistence. And whatever else you want to say about the Low Bag Show, we keep going, don't we? Keep making it happen. Today is Tuesday, January 18th. Of course, his name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. And this is a Low Bag Show that we start doing again every Tuesday. Then we stopped for about a month. All sorts of crazy shit happened. And now we're back. For this Tuesday at the very least, hopefully for many more Tuesdays and maybe even other days of the weeks going forward. Jimmy the Bag, it's been about a month. I know you were sick for a little bit. That's no secret. Now you're better. That's no secret. I'm super happy about that. We're all super happy about that. Let's not get into it too much, but what the hell happened over the past month? What I missed? How you been? How the Low Baggers been? How's the show been?
The show has been good. Well, first off, funnier than shit is a strange.
It's from the best movie ever made in the entire history of movies, and I don't even like movies. It's from Once Upon a Time in America. Sergio Leone. Burt Young says it. He goes, "Life is funnier than shit." Once Upon a Time in America, great movie. Trust me, that was a decent impression right there.
Yeah, I'd have to see the movie. I know that we can't ask Jose about this.
It's funnier than shit. Yeah, it did again.
I am better. Carter's still sick, so we're going to take Carter in. We wanted to get him looked at yesterday. Blizzard. Still a lot of snow, but no blizzard, so we're going to take him in afterwards. He did rip Biggie Smalls before the show started, though, so he still has energy. And he likes Biggie Smalls. It's not something about Biggie. Because he rocks out to Biggie Smalls, only 11 months old, but he's an angry kid right now. He's been sick for over a month, so he's a little pissed off. So he did rip Biggie Smalls when I told him I had to focus on my work. Speaking of work, some very interesting things have gone on.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, thank you guys all for joining us. We're going to say hello to all of you, but first and foremost is our producer, Jose Bouquet, has continued his very strong capping. Now, he did lose both his NFL picks this past weekend. Eagles plus 8.5 and Pittsburgh KC under 46. But despite that, Jose is 82-74, hitting at 52.6%, plus 13.65 units. 13.65 units, average line plus 105, and ROI plus 8.75% in his career on the show. How about that?
Is he like setting up to be? Is he like the new Ski Prophet over here? What the hell's going on with him?
Look,
is this just for real, Jimmy the Bag?
This is for real. This is.
You think so?
Yeah, it's been enough of a sample size to see him being very impressive. So that's the first thing that needs to be called out. The second thing that needs to be called out is Ron Crawford's spreadsheet plays of the day have hit 6 in a row. 6 in a row spreadsheet plays of the day, so he's heating up as well. For more success stories, Dutch Boy Fresh on our show. He's on our show every Thursday. In his NBA picks is 23-15, hitting at 60.5%, plus 7.17 units, ROI plus 18.87%, average line minus 105. That's Dutch Boy Fresh.
Really? Okay. All right. I guess I got my work cut out for me just to keep up. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Well, when we want to look at the best work that you've done on this show, it coincides with the heating up of Maxwell Smart. Maxwell Smart last week went 7-3 plus 3.65 units. By the way, Jose, we're going to be doing NCAA basketball second today. It's going to be second up right after NHL. So we're going to go NHL, NCAA basketball, then to NBA. Max coming off a 7-3 plus 3.65 unit week, and we just did Thursday and Friday. But you, sir, are 20-14 in NCAA basketball, hitting at 58.8%, plus 4.6 units, ROI plus 13.53%, average line minus 111. So you're feeling it in college basketball. And word on the street is you have perused today's NCAA basketball card.
I have, but then the other street is, which I don't know if you were on that street, but the word on that street, which is also true, is I took about a month off from looking at college basketball, so I might not be in the full swing of things for today's show, but I did look at the entire card, have some opinions. I definitely took Ohio -1 on the overnight line. I haven't even checked to see what the line is right now, but yeah, it looks like there's some decent situations. You know, once again, college basketball, for people who don't know, was where I reached the heights of my handicapping prowess, about 6 or 7 years ago. And January is a very interesting month in college basketball because a lot of teams make, sort of like stark turns in form that are usually pretty significant, whether it's like, if a team is recovering from injuries or whatever. So you see a lot of like home dogs against elite teams with good value, those kinds of things. When I looked over today's card, it was classic. I recognized it, felt very familiar. So, what I'm trying to say is no guarantees, but I am prepared for today's college basketball card. That's all I'm trying to say here, Jimmy the Bag.
I love it. I'm ready to get to work. I want to give a shout out to a bunch of people, but you'll notice when we talk about the superlatives that have been done in capping, my name has not come up.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been running well. I had the 49ers money line and the 49ers. I do have the Niners 60-1 to win the Super Bowl, 30-1 to win NFC. But that's about it. In NHL right now, I'm down 10.36 units on the season.
Really? In NHL? Okay.
I was up
also,
7 units.
Just in case it's not understood by everyone watching, you have by far the hardest job. You got to cover every sport and comment on it and host the show and be entertaining and be happy and be engaged. I mean, I used to be in your situation, Jimmy the Bag, and it's almost an impossible task. So shout out to you, Jimmy the Bag. Well, hell yeah.
It's kind of you. I expect to be a winning capper in NHL. I've made 5 bets on today's NHL card. By the way, Pete, another thing that's going on is I did cut 25% off my unit size across the board over the holidays. I felt like you have to earn a unit size.
Yes.
And I felt like I had not been doing that of late. And it helped because when we were here on Thursday, I had the Sabres first period at plus 215. I probably don't bet that with my full unit. And it took me, I didn't bet until 5:30. It took me like 4 or 5 hours to get the confidence to bet it. So I'm okay with it. But one thing that we can promise you, while we can't promise you the winners, we can promise you honesty and accountability. And so I'm 86 and 104. Remember, I was up 7 units about 6 weeks ago on the season. My ROI minus 5.45%. My average line is plus 111. And I expect to be up units when it's all said and done. Your NHL record still very strong. 33 and 26, 55.9% plus 3.82 units. ROI plus 6.47%. I expect to roll. By the way, and with Jose's very sharp capping of late, not everybody seems to be on board. Paco, yes, but then there's Rem says, but what has he done for us lately? So I mean, there's still people questioning our man Jose, and I love you guys.
I mean, great. Dylan came out, and then people said Bruce Springsteen was the new Dylan, and then people slammed him, and then he proved that he was. But you got to prove yourself. I'm not ready to crown Jose the new ski prophet yet. Although his results so far. Very impressive. Give it up. Give it up for him.
He looks very serious backstage too. Not a smirk, not a smile. He looks very serious, which I like. Let's give a shout out to everybody joining us, and let's get to work. We got Dan Kelly. He is already making moves. He's on the Minnesota New York over 214. He's on Detroit plus 15. Detroit Golden State over 216 and a half. So let's copy and paste that and put it over our NBA. We have Trot Wam joining us. Just a 2-game card in NBA, but no reason we shouldn't attack it heavily here. I'm just going to put that Dan Kelly's action right there. Sammy Calmer in the house. Sammy Calmer coming off a 5-0, and that's more than 5 units because a couple of those were 2 unit bets. 5-0 NFL weekend. By the way, Pistol Pete Loshak will be with us tomorrow night in our big NFL Pub Hub show. Big Ragu coming off a 9-1 wild card week. That's the best week anyone's had.
Really? Holy shit.
That's the best week anyone's had on the NFL Pub Up. So that's vaulted him into first place. But Pete, you would have been there. You are 6-5, but you should be 8-3. Your last show you went 0-2, but You took a team total when the team went outright. You made another move that you were so close to. It was just kind of a tough luck finding your edge. But you've been very good in that show as well. Nutflush Allen, Paulie Walnuts, Danny Lopez in the house, Viper NB, Mark Schillingberg, and Dan Kelly's also on Detroit Moneyline tonight. Cobra Sports ready to go. Gary Tenebra says, Bills Mafia in the house. Let's do this. So glad to be in the room. Great to have you, Gary. Thank you for joining us, man. And God, that's a hard game. I hope that's part of your breakdowns tomorrow, Pete, is Chiefs Bills, but it doesn't have to be. And if you only give out one game, it's fine because we have a ton of guests on the show. So
yeah. Okay, good.
More, but whatever it is, there's Birdie in the house, Puzzler ready to go. All right, Gerardo Hernandez, Kent Davies, Bruce Shad, Red Girl. We haven't seen Red Girl in too long. There's Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast. Okay, it is time to get to work. Lance LaRose, Amsterdam, what else? Great to see you guys. Jeff Shahadi, Henry Dice, Slatsy, Arthur Mead Jr., The Truth Teller, Paco, B-Ball 619. I got to hang out with B-Ball 619 at Santa Anita. What a great guy. I can't wait to do more of that. All right, guys, let's get right to work. Christopher Carter, James, thank you guys so much for joining us. And Bill McDonald, Rem Mo says, let's not sleep on Pete's acting skills as well. No, God, no. Gary Vaughn, there's Jay Money. We got Jay Money in the house.
Shout out to Jay Money. Hell yeah. Shout out to Rem Mos for noticing that, but shout out to Jay Money. Hell yeah.
Jared TG, Dennis Garcia Williams, Wrestling, Chris Carter. Oh, God, I love you guys. Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Again, Dutch Boy Fresh, we went over his numbers. And look at that. And my NCAA career for Birdie started 1-5. He's gone 15-6-2 since. Encouraged by the process. I love all this. Here's my guy Guillermo Sertucci says, going to my first hockey game tonight. LA Tampa Bay, break it down, please. Wow, gee, you're going to your first game. Nice, nice. You snag Eli's hat that I got in that old school Kings hat. Roll with it tonight. Yes, that's our final game.
Right. I was going to say, I saw Nutflush Allen. I was actually in San Francisco for just a few days, and on my way to the hotel, I passed Oracle Field, and I thought of you, Nutflush Allen. Huge shout out to Nutflush Allen. I didn't have enough time to reach out to people and hang out with them, but yeah, shout out to Nutflush Allen.
There is Ron Crawford on the NHL Ottawa in regulation. So Ottawa regulation, I'm on Ottawa as well. Is that our first game that we're breaking down? No, we start with Carolina-Boston. Why don't you take it away, Pete? Lead us into Carolina-Boston. Let's start breaking down this action.
All right, I'll take it. And once again, I'm just getting back into the swing of things here. But as I started preparing for this card, I realized, maybe it won't take that long for me to get back into the swing of things. Jimmy the Bag, Carolina-Boston. This one... Carolina playing excellently, lost 2 of the last 3. Boston completely rolling. I'm sure you can tell us more about that. To my eye, it looks like a classic, matchup of 2 elite teams. So maybe I would be thinking somewhat of a playoff atmosphere, maybe first period under. Not sure about that, but it's also one of those emotional games, right? The Bruins are going to be retiring the jersey of that Hall of Famer who was the actual guy named Willie O'Ree, right? He broke the NHL's color barrier, so that is a huge emotional deal here, I think. And the problem is just that, Carolina is not really a team that I want to be betting against, even with Boston playing well, even in a great situation, an emotional circumstance like this. So I was looking at this. I was thinking out loud, and I'm going to get your. Maybe I'll make an official pit play after I read the comments and hear what you have to say about it. But I was thinking, I don't know, maybe Boston team total over, maybe first period under. Carolina as a road dog, which means that by definition they're playing another top team. They tend to be kind of underish. On the road, and especially in the first period, which is generally what you would expect. So my leans would be first period under, maybe Boston team total over. No bet as of right now for me. Jimmy the Bag. What do you think of my breakdown? Pretty comprehensive, right?
Yeah, it makes everything bang on there. Red Girl saying Boston full game under. We have the Bruins, as of the Action Network, saying that they open at minus 139. They're now minus 130 to minus 135. This total opened at 5.5 at a pick'em. It's now slightly juiced to the under at some books, slightly juiced to the over at other books. These are two very good hockey teams playing against each other. Hurricanes 25-8-2, 13-4-1 at Bruins 22-11-2, 12-6-1. We're at TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. Frederick Anderson expected to be in between the pipes, 19-6-0, 2.03 goals against average, 928 save percentage, 1 shutout. Another goaltender who leaves the confines of Toronto and becomes everything that they imagined he could have been in the first place. Tuukka Rask playing in his second game of his return, 1-0. He looked good. 2.01 goals against average, 926 save percentage. Both teams have very strong special teams. Carolina 24.3% power play, 90.5% penalty killing. Boston 23.8% power play, 83.2% penalty killing. Hurricanes snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 4-1 win at home over the Canucks on Saturday night. They're getting so much production out of Aho, Svechnikov, Teravainen. Their defense, Tony DeAngelo is just stepping up in such a big way. You know what you're going to get out of Slavin and Brady Shea. The three of them have been very good. Now, Martin Necas has entered COVID protocols. He's 8 goals, 13 assists, 21 points, and he's a +4. He's an important forward for this team, and he's not around, but they do have depth there. Bruins come in as winners of 5 straight and 8 of 9. They were last seen in the 4-3 overtime victory over Nashville. This is game 4 of a 7-game homestand, which they could sweep. They could sweep this homestand. Brad Marchand playing spectacularly well. 20 goals, 23 assists, 43 points, 30 games played. He has 17 power play points. He's got 2 shorthanded goals. He does it all. I said when David Pastrnak heats up, look out. And that's exactly what's happened. They're finally getting production out of Pastrnak. 16 goals, 15 assists, 31 points, 35 games played. It's not enough. It's not the Pastrnak that we remember, but he has 7 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games. His shooting percentage, when I started calling him out about a week and a half ago, was 6.7%. Now it's at 10.3%. His career average is 13.8%, I believe. But when he's scoring 48 goals or 38 goals a year, it's back. It's around 17%. So it's moving in that direction. Nick Foligno very close to returning to the lineup. Trent Frederick out with an upper body injury. John Moore. They have 2 defensemen out. They have John Moore out with an upper body injury and Grizzlchick entering COVID protocols. I think you're getting a pretty good number on Boston here. I don't think I want to fade the Hurricanes, but you're getting a pretty good number on Boston here. I think it comes down to they're rolling. And you're getting them what your -1, which I would be hesitant to bet would be at a +124, something like that, -135 and +180. I don't really want to fade these Hurricanes, 13-4-1 on the road, but Boston probably the pick here. Foxy's on the over 5.5. Birdie says Bruins quietly starting to roll, Carolina quietly struggling. I like the spot for the Bruins. Historically, they win these games in Boston. He bet Bruins line. I think it's just a tiny bit too much juice for me on the Bruins, but with Pastrnak rolling, Taylor Hall playing better, it's probably the play.
I mean, it's just that the Bruins are obviously playing great. Is that for real? You tell me, Jimmy the Bag. And if so, it's also, again, psychologically a good spot for them, a great spot for them. And again, it's a low line. I was thinking that Boston was the play here. I mean, I'm assuming that you would say that Boston's success right now is for real and to ride that wave and surf it until further notice. No?
This is if you wanted to buy in on the Boston Bruins in the futures market, I mean, they are in a extremely tough division. But I would understand that because we all expect David Krejci to come back from Czechoslovakia at some point when Omicron gets under control. They're going to get Nick Foligno back. Charlie Coyle is just not quite good enough to be your second-line center, even though he's a quality player that any winning team would want. If Krejci comes back and Taylor Hall can heat up a little bit, Hall has looked better. If Pastrnak heats up, we know what we're going to get from Bergeron, and Marchand is a spectacular hockey player. Not flush down, leaning towards the Canes over 2.5. I think the Willie O'Ree comments you made are really interesting. I wonder if they're going to be really jacked up here.
Yeah, I mean, Red Girl said she liked the under. My thought was that I would vaguely agree with that, and I would probably like the first period under more. But now we got a lot of people liking overs one way or another. Henry Dice likes the Canes team total over. Nut Flush Allen likes the Canes team total over. Dre Fortray just likes the full game over at 5.5. Gary Vaughn likes the over. Nate Dogg 420 calling it a draw 3-3, which would also be an over. Sam Culmer predicting 6 goals. A lot of overs here, Jim.
Dennis says since early December, Carolina's 13-2-1 their last 16. So then they must have won 12 because they've lost 2 of their last 3. Let me double check that. That's wild that you said because they've lost 2 of their last 3. That's why. That's why Birdie said that about Carolina. But wow, if since 13, 2-1, that's so they must be on. Let me just check this out because I didn't realize they'd won that many games after losing 2.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to take 10 seconds out to shout out Paco Healy, always with awesome comments. He says, Low Bag Land actually sounds like a great metaverse idea. Hell yeah, we'll sell seats in the metaverse on Low Bag Land just for $20. Everyone else is, all that real estate's going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's going to be cheap as hell in Low Bag Land. Shout out to you, Paco Healy.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying a bit, Dennis. They've won 10 of their last 16. But if you cut out that 3-game losing streak to start that off, then they're 6-1, 9-3, 10-3. So you're right. So 10, it would be 10-3 over the last 13 if you cut that 3-game losing streak to get it started off. Dennis Garcia said they played bad against Columbus Blue Jackets. That's about it. That was shocking. That was shocking that they did that against the Jackets, losing 6-0. That did come as a big surprise. And then the other thing is that do you want to support Rask here? What are you going to get from Rask moving forward? Is he just going to stand on his head? I guess this is a really tricky spot. I guess Boston -1, but do you really see Boston winning by margin here against a very tough Carolina team?
No, I would take Boston on the money line. It concerns me, though, that Nutflush Allen likes Kane's team total over. If he likes Kane's team total over, and there's so many good reasons to like Boston, maybe the over is the play. No?
Yeah, I could see that. These are two very good hockey teams, and I cashed my last Boston over 5.5, but I have a vividness of the Bruins scoring goals. I often, or in the past, I've taken the over 5.5 in Boston at TD Garden, and my ROI is poor. And I've tried to stay off of those over 5.5s with Boston at home. I mean, these two goalies are strong. I think I'm just going to move past it. I've got a lot of action on this NHL card. If I had a free play, I'd probably take Boston -1. Diehard MMA podcast and Nate Dogg 420 both thinking a possible overtime prop. Red Girl says total's gone over in 4 of the last 5 when Boston and Carolina played. I'm going to stay off this. Pete, do you want to make anything official?
I'm like an inch away from taking just Boston money line as a play, but I would really, really, really like to know why Nutflush Allen likes the Carolina team total over. I would really like to know that, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Boston is just pretty much the obvious, value player, not necessarily, obviously not a lock. And Carolina is, they're great, right, Jimmy the Bag? I mean, they're legit elite, right? Or no? Or yeah.
They're legit elite hockey team in the NHL, without question. Now, I'm not as high as them as others. Gokster is picked to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. All right, I guess I will pass, but pretty significant lean to Boston on the money line here.
I get it. Losing Nate just hurts. This is I've got a lot of action, a lot of stuff I really like. So why don't we keep rolling?
Okay, let's keep rolling. Next one, Buffalo, Ottawa. Buffalo. Okay, this is who we thought they were. Right now they're sucking. Right, they're on a back-to-back. They played last night. And a lot of times, you see this in all sports and definitely hockey as well. A team that was expected to be absolutely horrible, bottom of the barrel, and starts off the year with a bunch of huge underdog upsets. Good for them. Usually, not always, but almost always, they crash hard way back to their expected form in the preseason prognostications, and they wind up, after a bunch of big underdog upsets in the first few weeks of the season, being a great auto fade, and that is definitely what has happened with Buffalo on a back-to-back. They played last night. Ottawa, 2 wins in a row. Both as a huge underdog, but for the past 10 games or so, they've been winning as well in general. I have no problem fading Buffalo, out of hand, or whatever the term would be right now. And the question is just, is Ottawa really this much better? Is there any reason to see a surprise here from Buffalo?
Buffalo is more than capable of surprising. And what's happened here is not that the Senators are that much better than the Buffalo Sabres, although they're better. There's no doubt about that.
Clearly.
But even since I bet this 3 hours ago, there's been a 50-cent move or 45-cent move at Bet365 to the Ottawa Senators. And I only bet at 8:30 in the morning. I was staying up as late as I could to try to get this to come out, and I even missed the line here. But the issue here is the Sabres goaltending has been absolutely destroyed by injuries. And because of that, I thought there was no way they could play Aaron Dell in the back-to-back. He's too important right now because Aaron Dell's their fifth-string goaltender. They have 4 goaltenders injured right now. And I was sitting there thinking, could Dustin Tokarski, because he's been practicing. We don't know really what's wrong with him. It's got to be COVID-related because he's coming off COVID. But is it Michael Hauser who's going to be in net tonight? And Puzzler says, looks like Michael Hauser will be in goal. They just can't play Aaron Dell in back-to-back right now games. They can't be that risky with their goaltending. And Michael Hauser shouldn't be in the NHL. So now we're talking about a 6th-string goaltender. So I thought there was a chance that Tokarski could be back. I have Dell, Tokarski, and House here. But let's just go over Michael House a little bit here on HockeyDB and see exactly what we're dealing with. When you get to a 6th-ranked goaltender in your system, you're in tremendous trouble. Let me go over here.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
Yeah, Michael Hauser. Sorry, I got Michael House here when I wrote that in. Sorry, Michael Hauser. So let's grab him. So here we go. 29-year-old Michael Hauser. He spent most of his career in the ECHL. This is a really awful spot to put him in. Now, if this was a more veteran squad, like if he was coming in to play for the Capitals, who have been not playing well, but just like an idea of a veteran squad, I'd be like, you know what? They are going to put a wall up in front of this kid. But the Sabres just aren't capable of doing that. Right. The Sabres are in tremendous trouble. So
So what about just, the Ottawa team total over? I know you don't want to take an over 3.5 with a team like Ottawa necessarily, so without thinking about it 2 or 3 times. But, their 2 road wins against quality teams were excellent. They put up 4 and 6, and now you got, they're back at home with no fans, I know, but playing Buffalo with their 6th-string goalie or whoever that is. And, Buffalo is not any kind of defensive juggernaut. So, and you're only getting minus 110 you only have to pay 110 for a 3.5. What about that?
I think it makes absolute sense. Because of you missing, because I got the Senators -1 at minus 106. Let's just go over these Senators quickly for a second, but let's give a big shout out to Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford has now hit 6 straight in his Ron Crawford plays of the day, and he's on Ottawa Senators in regulation.
Very nice.
Other thing quickly is, with JPZ saying Senators 0-8 on the puck line is a favorite. Don't think I'll bet it though. Look, you guys have you don't want to take a move after 45 cent. You don't want to make a bet after a 45 cent plus move. But one of the things here about these Senators is I really don't think we should judge them on what we've seen from them so far this year. They've been devastated with COVID. They've been hit so hard with a bunch of different ailments. And DJ Smith is one of the best coaches in the NHL. They have a 20% power play, 78% penalty killing. You have these Sabres on the second half of a back-to-back. These Sabres are beat up. We talked about Tokarski, Subban, and Luke Luokinen, Craig Anderson all out long-term. Tokarski is close to returning. Middlestad is out with upper body injury. Jurgensen is now on the IR. They have 2 defensemen out with Jacob Bryson and Colin Miller on IR. They did get Tage Thompson back, and Kyle Okaposo has been much better than I expected him to be this year. 7 goals, 16 assists, 23 points, 36 games, -7. Jeff Skinner hasn't been a total liability, which I thought he was. But the Senators have won 2 straight since their 12-day shutdown. Big road wins over Calgary and Edmonton. They score 5 third-period goals to come back on the Oilers. Right wingers Connor Brown and Scott Sabourin are injured, but no one's in COVID protocols. Drake Batherson continues to show he can score at this level. 10 goals, 20 assists, 30 points, 26 games, and he's a +5. Brady Tkachuk has played well since signing the big contract. 12 goals, 12 assists, 24 points, 28 games, 56 penalty minutes. He's a +3. And Thomas Chabot is a +1. He takes a lot of shit for his defense. He's playing 27 minutes and 4 seconds a game, 18 points in 31 games. This is Dennis Garcia says 4-3 Buffalo. if Buffalo can show that kind of heart in front of Hauser, I'll be really impressed. But Ottawa takes it to them here. Ottawa needs to, too. Ottawa sitting here at 11-18-2. They've won 5 of 14 games at home. So I'm on the Senators here, Pete. Are you going to move on the team total?
You can throw on the Senators team total over as well. I'm seeing 3.5 minus 112 at Pinnacle, and considering that we're tracking everything and being so fucking honest, I should probably line shop for every cent I can get. But that's a bit of in a live show. That's a little bit of an annoying thing to do. So I guess you can just give me 3.5 minus 112 on the Ottawa team total over.
Over 3.5 for Ottawa team total. Ottawa team total over 3.5 minus 112. Okay, let's keep rolling, my man. We got. I would like to try to get Max on at 12 in 28 minutes. So let's roll.
Sure. And okay, so Isles and Philly is what we're talking about next. Again, this is one of these second of a back-to-backs. Isles won the first game. Will Philly get revenge here? In normal circumstances, that's what I would be thinking. Except Philly is so bad, right? Lost 8 in a row. Sometimes teams do get swept on these back-to-backs, and it's just ugly, right? The first coach was fired, then the interim coach comes in, and they do a little bit better for a little while, and now it's just a complete disaster again. So I don't really want to take Philly here, even as a dog. I guess I'd be leaning under, but other than that, no real opinions. The game and situation kind of scares me.
I don't mind going right back to the well with the Islanders here. Mm-hmm. Yesterday I came very close to moving on them at minus 170, and I thought, do they really deserve to be minus 170 favorites? Then they quickly moved to minus 200. These Flyers, it's about fading the Flyers, although I do think that North Ender riding the Isles and ain't stopping here is a good spot. Dennis Garcia says, I so want to take Philly, but I won't. I don't know how one can. Right now, I don't know how one can take these Flyers. They're falling apart. They should be, obviously, it's easy to say they'll be better than they were last night. But Varlamov coming in net for the Islanders, he has a ton to prove. Carter Hart's been good this year, even though the team's been so bad. Philadelphia power play at 15.7%, penalty killing at 78.5%. Islanders 18.1% power play, 82.8% penalty killing. I took the Islanders. It was minus 125 when I was humming and hawing. It moved to minus 130 when I actually bet it. I took them on the minus 1 line at plus 124. That's minus 130 money line and plus 185 puck line. So these teams played last night. Flyers lost their 8th straight game 4-1. Islanders have won 4 or 5 and desperately need to string wins together. They're reasonably healthy. Ryan Pulock is out. That hurts them. He's him and Pulock are their main defensemen. Kyle Palmieri being out too. Matthew Barzal has to step up. 7 goals, 15 assists, 22 points in 28 games, minus 3. That's not enough. He's the only Islander with more than 16 points. But these Flyers are a team in disarray. 2 of their top 3 centers are out of the lineup. We're seeing what that does to a team. Couturier and Derek Brassard, both Couturier on IR, Brassard not skating at all due to a hip injury. Look, I think the Isles are the spot, and I don't care that they beat them last night. This isn't a team that's fat and happy. This is a team that must win now, and urgency is paramount. So I'm on the Islanders minus 1.
Okay. Hey, Jimmy, sorry to turn it back, but I just looked at Heritage, and I'm seeing Ottawa 3.5 minus 105. So can I get that?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. It's just we're being so fucking honest here. I have to do that. I have to cut off a different game to give myself 7 more cents. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. No worries. No, it's important. It's important.
Yeah. If I could just lie a few cents away, then I'd do that instead. Obviously.
We did miss Jets Capitals, so don't forget to go back to Jets Capitals.
Okay. Sure. Cool. Yeah.
But did you want to make a move here on Islanders Flyers?
Are official play for you or no? You took the Islanders?
Yeah. I bet the Islanders minus 1. I don't care that they won last night. I just think that urgency with Trot seeing these Isles right now.
I'm going to pass on this one. But Jimmy the Bag, so if you like the Islanders, would you prefer, just out of curiosity, the Islanders team total over or the Philly team total under? Which would you, if you got a free play on one of those, which would you take?
What's the juice on the Flyers team total under 2.5?
So Flyers team total under at Pinnacle right now would be minus 120, and Islanders team total over would be minus 137.
I would take the Flyers team total under 2.5.
Interesting. Just for my own thoughts. All right. I'm going to pass, though, for this one, officially, for now.
Okay, let's roll on.
All right, let's move on. Next one I got here, Winnipeg, Washington. Okay, we're ready to do that, Jimmy the Bag?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so Washington, we kind of knew this was going to happen, right? We thought early on in the season, obviously early on in the season, they were just scoring and winning and everything. But I remember when we were talking about it, we were expecting them at some point to start to get a little bit wearied and tired. Ovechkin, obviously awesome, but a little bit, on the old side right now, also dealing with one of the nagging injuries, upper body injuries that happens to almost everyone at this point in the NHL season. So the Washington crash that we were expecting has happened, and it seems like they're in the midst of it now. And I'm not sure that we should do anything but expect it to continue until further notice. And then Winnipeg, only played 4 times in January, but winning, playing well. So I'm thinking maybe Winnipeg as a dog, maybe Winnipeg team total over, maybe Washington team total under. What do you think? All of those seem vaguely good to me, though.
I want to expect this Capitals team to dig deep here and take care of business.
Not going to happen, Jim.
I want to badly. They're not playing good hockey right now. And do you want to try to catch a falling knife? There's been a market move here, a clear market move towards the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg Jets just 7-6-4 on the road. Look at these Capitals, 10-5-5 at home. So when you look at that, you think, it's not bad, but they've won 10 of 20 games at home. That's not like the Capitals that we remember. Samsonov, 13-4-3, but just a 2.77 goals against average, 903 save percentage. This Washington power play at 15.8%, and now they don't have Carlson. Carlson out due to COVID protocols, and his absence being very noticeable. Penalty killing at 81.2%. Winnipeg power play at 20.8%, 71.1% penalty killing. Jets coming off their 4th win in 5 games, 3-0 Detroit last Thursday. They have Eric Comrie and defenseman Brendan Dillon and Ville Heinola out with COVID. Evgeny Svechnikov day-to-day with an upper body injury. Paul Stastny is expected to join the Jets on one of these games. It's unclear if it'll be tonight. He hasn't played since January 4th because of a lower body injury and then COVID protocol. Blake Wheeler has been taking part in practice. He was in Monday's practice, but he was in a non-contact jersey. So Larry says it's a positive that he's on the ice. It's a positive he's with the group. Whether or not he's an option, we'll see how the week progresses. Kyle Connor's been handling the load offensively, 20 goals, 17 assists, 37 points, 34 games, -2. Nate Schmidt has been so much better than he was last year with the Canucks. I mean, you can say that across the board about Vancouver Canucks players, especially Vancouver Canucks defensemen. But Nate Schmidt, he's a goal, 17 assists, 18 points, 33 games. It's the Capitals. They've lost 5-6. They're not playing good hockey. And now they don't have Carlson. Connor Sherry also out with COVID. Oshie continues to deal with an upper body injury. Ovechkin's been so good this year. 26 goals, 28 assists, 54 points, 39 games played. He's +15. He's a monster. Kuznetsov and Wilson has been great too, but no one else has been good. And Backstrom's back. He's got 5 assists in 6 games. He's got to step up. Johnny K says, can we get an under here? There's top set in the house. Sammy Comic says, Caps 8-0 last 8 at home versus Winnipeg. Brady says, I believe the Jets are the look here. Carlson's arguably the most important piece to the Caps lineup, staying away from this game. Staying away from this game is what I have to do too. It's too bad. If Carlson was in the lineup, I would expect the Capitals bounce back, but their defense does not have much depth, and we're seeing that without Carlson. I'm off.
So why the obvious play to me is Winnipeg team total over 2.5 -129. Why do you not like that one?
I don't dislike it. I mean, when your team is struggling, you start with how you play defensively. You got to be accountable defensively. I think that's probably I guess you've figured out the best look on the board. I'll see what it is at Bet365. I don't trust this Winnipeg Jets team. I don't like this Winnipeg Jets team. I don't think they're a very good hockey team.
No?
We'll see what happens when. No, Scheifele's not been good enough this year. He's got to be an elite player in the NHL. He's got to be a top 10 player in the NHL for his team to go anywhere. Blake Wheeler did not look good, and then he got hurt. So Ehlers has been good. Luc Dubois has been good. But I don't – Nate Schmidt's playing a ton. You got Pionk and Morrissey who are playing well. I mean, they're just an average hockey team. Do I want an average hockey team on the road against a very angry Capital squad, even though the Capitals
Right, with their team total over. I mean, I like a team like Winnipeg because if you look at their recent road trip, they got solid wins over bad teams, and they got blown the F out by Colorado, which you also might expect to happen. And Washington just looks to me, based on what I'm seeing here, like a team that is struggling right now, disarray. I know that you would say when a team is struggling, they got to start cracking down defensively, but that's just not really their identity. You know what I mean? And I think when they start winning games, it's going to be because one or two games they start putting up some goals. But I just think they're going to be vulnerable defensively against any reasonable opponent until further notice. So I kind of like Winnipeg team total over 2.5 minus 129. What do you think about that, Jimmy the Bag? Huh? Not a bad argue. I can argue a point or two here in it. I can tell you
right? that they'll probably make that more appealing. That's at minus 155 at Bet365.
What is
Jets team total over 2.5?
Minus 155?
Yeah, so that may make that much more appealing to you when you hear that.
Yeah, well, I don't like to see. I mean, Pinnacle has it at minus 129, so I'll take that. I'll make that an official play. Winnipeg team total over 2.5 minus 129 at current odds at Pinnacle. If you shop around, you could probably get a better line, but I'm not going to.
Team total. I don't think you can get a better. That's a really good line. Over 2.5.
That's not good. When you get a much better line at Pinnacle than the rest of the market, that's a bad sign for you, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, no, we've seen that as well. But I get the look. Let's keep rolling here. Next up, Canucks Nashville. Take it away.
Canucks and Nashville, Vancouver off a win before that, 3 straight losses against good teams, though. Nashville, lost 3 in a row, but before that, they'd won 5 in a row. One of those losses was a minus 340 fave. So Vancouver and Nashville were 2 teams that were pretty confusing to me in the beginning of the season, and in this spot, they look confusing as well. But, of course, Nashville was rolling for a while before their recent run of losing. And, they're coming off a loss. Vancouver's coming off a win. Vancouver, I think, is a beatable team. My thought would be that Nashville will be the play, although Saros probably won't be in goal, I'm assuming, and I'm wondering how big of a deal that is. But, I was thinking maybe Nashville or maybe better Nashville first period. What do you think, Jim?
Look, I'm on the Vancouver Canucks here. I got him at plus 125, and that wasn't even like I was late to the party. I was waiting for this to come out, and it finally came out. And I got up late. I stayed up late trying to wait for it, and then I got up too late. Canucks plus 125. It's now a plus 110 here. David Rittich is not a very good goaltender. 3-1-1, 3.04 goals against average, 884 Sabres Senators. I'm back in Margaret Thatcher Demko. He's a very good goaltender. The Canucks were on a huge roll, and then that had that long break, which was something that Bruce Boudreau wanted because he said it was like he finally got to training camp with the club. Their penalty killing still bad. They don't have the players to. They don't have that strong defensive center. They don't have the kind of defenseman you need to have a good penalty kill, but they have the right goaltender. Dennis Garcia says Operation Fade Nashville Predators. I was wrong, and Birdie was very right about these Predators to start the year. But I do not trust them like Dennis Garcia. I believe I know who they really are, and that hasn't proven to be right. One of the things that COVID has done is players can't really go out. That puts them in too dangerous of a situation. That's really helped when you got Duchesne and Johansson, guys that can't be counted on in the past. They've been counted on. They've been accountable. They're on the second half back-to-back. They lost to the Blues 5-3 last night in St. Louis. They've now lost 3 straight. They're playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. Here is the big thing. You have David Rittich in net, and now you have 2 of their top 4 defensemen, and Dante Fabro maybe isn't a top 4 defenseman. Maybe he's a 3rd-string defenseman. But Matthias Ekholm is. Matthias Ekholm is the top 2 defensemen on this team. I mean, Yossi's the GOAT for this team, but Ekholm is a huge piece, 6'4". Even when the Predators were falling apart, they didn't trade Ekholm, and everybody wanted him. He's a hell of a defenseman. He's out with COVID. Fabro's out with an upper body injury week to week. You take 2 of their top 4 defensemen out. You put in their backup goaltender. Canucks come in off snapping their 3-game losing streak 4-2 at Washington. Elias Pettersson escaped from his crib and scored 2 goals. 10 of his 19 points have come on the power play. 1 has come shorthanded. So he scored 8 points this year, 5-on-5. I God, I got a ton of anger towards him. I'm so angry about what Pettersson has done. Bo Horvat has to do more. 13 goals, 10 assists, 23 points in 38 games. That's not enough. JT Miller's so good. Connor Garland tested positive for COVID. He's now in protocols. He's been quite good. He's been better than I expected him to be. So I am on these Vancouver Canucks at plus 125 and confident. Birdie says I'm taking Vancouver money line here. Peds on the back-to-back physical game versus the Blues. Canucks will be ready here in an advantageous spot for them. Sam Palmer, yes, I did message Jose to put together a little Margaret Thatcher Demko pick for us here on the show. He's working on it right now. Pete, what do you think here?
Everyone is agreeing with you that I'm seeing for good reason. And I was also thinking about maybe the over and maybe the Vancouver team total over. Dennis Garcia wants to fade him. Slatsy45 says the Nashville that we know is starting to show. I loathe this team. Taking a shot with Canucks at plus 117, and North Ender leans over. So maybe I was thinking maybe the over is a good or a great play. What do you think, Jimmy the Bag? And people are talking about how Nashville came off of a bruising game, which is true. They're playing on a back-to-back. Is that something that means a lot to you when you see that, when a team has played a physical game and then they're playing on a back-to-back?
Yes, especially with guys like Johansson and Duchesne who aren't known to be, the most in-shape players on the squad. Yeah, I think Nashville's in a really tough spot here. Now, look, they've stepped up time and time again this year. Will they be able to do it here? I don't know. But Turnsey says I wouldn't take the over. What is the over at right now? The over is
5.5. Not very highly juiced. A little bit juiced, but not very highly.
Juiced to minus 130 at Bet365. But look, I get it. I get it. I'm going to stay off total here and just focus on the Canucks to take care of business.
All right, I'll do one thing to start. I'll take the Canucks team total over 2.5, just minus 115 at Pinnacle. I'll take that one. Again, if you shop around, you can probably get a better line. But I'll take team total over 2.5 minus 115 Vancouver, and I'm thinking strongly about taking the full game over as well. We'll move on. We'll move on quickly. I just want to see what people see. Turnsey says I wouldn't take the over. I wonder why that would be. Rez Mob says, Pete, where did you get those pimp shades? Yeah, I'm glad someone appreciates it. Shout out to you, Rez Mob. I know I look good with a turtleneck, right? I look smart as hell with pimp shades and a turtleneck, huh? What do you think, Rez Mob? Jimmy the Bag. Why would Turnsey not like the over?
He just doesn't trust Nashville to produce on the second night of a back-to-back.
Right.
And the Canucks should play a tight defensive hockey game. They should play different on the road than they play at home. You took the Canucks team total over 2.5?
Yeah, minus 115.
Minus 115. And let's get a look at our Margaret Thatcher Demko, Jose. Can you fire there? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There is Margaret Thatcher Demko in between the pipes for these Vancouver Canucks. All right, we got lots of work to do, so let's roll on.
Right, let's move on. All right, so I've made 3 picks now. Montreal, Dallas. Here you go. Right, Jimmy the Bag. Now to everyone watching, you should never. I don't care about anything. You should never go all in. Put your entire bankroll and your entire net worth on one play. Okay, but if you're gonna do it, find a situation like this, right? Dallas, if someone put all of their money on Dallas team total over or Dallas money line or Dallas -1, I'd be praying for them, but I would be hopeful. Montreal just awful, right? Dallas has lost 3 out of 4, but to good teams, and there's a stark home road discrepancy with Dallas. Now, when things are super obvious, you want to be a little bit careful, think 2 times, 3 times about it, but I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking this is just one of those no-brainers, don't overthink it, low-hanging fruit type plays, which we do see in the NHL. We've talked about this, Jimmy the Bag. Dallas -1 or -1.5, solid play, I think. Dallas team total over, solid play, I think. What do you think, Jimmy the Bag?
Well, I can't believe how bad I beat this market move because I was late to this party as well, waiting for this line, waiting, doesn't come out, go to sleep, wake up. I got Stars -1.5, -105. It's now -1.5 at -130 at -5. So a 25-cent move on the puck line. And look, I get it. These Habs are absolute trash.
La plus grande franchise dans la histoire du hockey.
Your team sucks.
They're trash. Now, they did hire a new general manager, Kent Hughes, 18th general manager in franchise history. He is an NHL player agent for over 25 years. We saw how that worked out with Gillis in Vancouver. It was fucking awful. These other general managers, they hate player agents. Hate them. You want to make deals with a guy who's been screwing you over for 25 years? I think this will, like other moves, blow up in Montreal's face. I'm on the Stars -1.5 and -105. I also took the over 5.5. And
Right.
this is now juiced to the under. That makes me a little uncomfortable.
Very.
The Canadiens 7-25-5, 2-15-4 on the road. Sam Montembeault, I do not trust. I don't trust Caden Primo either. Either of these two goalies are in net. You want to fade. Montembeault 163, 3.89 goals against, 895 save percentage. Holtby 6-8-1, 2.56 goals against, average 920 save percentage. Dallas power play at 25.5%. Now Jason Robertson's out. I'm going to go over all the injuries. There's a ton of them, but that's a problem. That's a problem for the Stars. And Radulov's still out with COVID, and he's done nothing this year. So, look, the Stars aren't as strong as I'd like them to be. A Montreal power play at 11.6%, penalty killing at 74%. They've lost 6 straight, 13-14. Second half of a back-to-back after losing 5-2 to Arizona last night. Paul Byron has skated on his own Monday. There's a good chance he'll join the teammates on his current road trip. Expected to be a full participant shortly and will make his season debut coming up here. Defenseman Joel Edmondson has not started skating. Tyler Toffoli could be back as early as this week. So he's ahead of schedule from his hand surgery. Matthew Perreault does not have a timetable to return to the lineup. Too bad. Brendan Gallagher has been skating, making progress from his lower body injury. He's been out since December 30th. He'll be back soon. Jake Allen day-to-day. Cedric Paquette out with an undisclosed injury. So the Stars can't win on the road. They were outscored 10-2 in their two-game road trip versus Florida and Tampa. They did look much better against Tampa. It was 1-1 until late. They were up 1-0. Tampa scored a goal late in the first period, and then scored a couple goals late. One was an empty netter, I believe. Jason Robertson considered very questionable. He didn't practice yesterday. That hurts them. Radulov and Sekera out with COVID. Radulov has got to step up. But Dre for Trey says Dallas puck line, Habs are horrible. Yotes smashed and pushed their shit back in. And Bertie says he said it's we said he can't even crazily make a case for a +270 dog. He can't. Just staying right away here. Stars do smash at home, though.
Yeah.
And look, I'm on the Stars -1.5, and I don't love it. I'm also on the over 5.5 -110. I wish Robertson was in the lineup, but I'm moving on it. You want anything here?
Yep. I'm just going to not overthink it. Dallas -1. I'm getting a shitty line, so I'll take it. -1, -240. That's the current line at Pinnacle. But I mean, Dre for Trey, it makes a great point. I mean, they got their shit pushed back in by the Yotes, and when that happens, I mean, come on, that's doesn't happen by accident, right? Okay, let's put it that way. So Dallas -1, -240. I'll take it official, right? And just because of the market move, I'm going to hold off on the Dallas team total over 3.5.
Yeah, I North End are liking the Dallas team total over 3.5. I'm very uncomfortable expecting Dallas to score a bunch of goals without Robertson. He's a spectacular hockey player. And he just makes Rupee Hintz tick. We saw what Rupee Hintz did when Robertson was out of line at the beginning of the year. He did squat ass nothing. All right, we got 2 games left here, and Max is backstage. So let's roll up on Panthers Flames.
Okay, great. So these are the 2 games that I kind of ran out of time last night looking at. So, why don't you tell us what you think about this? Obviously, Florida is an elite friggin' team, and Calgary's been losing, right? Calgary's been losing. So, what line are we seeing here? Florida, mid-range road favorite, but Florida is definitely a quality enough team to justify that kind of a line. And if Calgary's slumping is for real, maybe that's the play, but I didn't look at this game in depth enough to have a lean yet. What do you think, Jim?
Well, there's been a huge market move towards the Panthers and a huge market move towards the over. So, and I get it. Trinity says everyone just stop fading the Panthers unless it's a perfect spot. Panthers 26-7-5, 5-4-5 on the road. Calgary Flames 17-11-6, 4-4-4 at home. I have the Panthers to win the division at +425, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are just so good that I don't think I'll cash it. And I still haven't moved on the Avalanche to win the Cup. It's plus 600 2 weeks ago. I could have moved. It went down to plus 500. Then it went to 475. Then back to 500. Now it's at plus 475. How are the Lightning not favorite to win the Stanley Cup? It's beyond me. And I should probably bet them to win the Stanley Cup. But you know the Panthers want them so badly. I can't wait to see that series. But then what happens if the Leafs win 10 straight? I mean, they're only a few points out of that division crown as well. I do not expect to cash my plus 425 on the Panthers. Bobrovsky against Markstrom. Bobrovsky 19-3-3, 2.47 goals against average, 9.21 save percentage. Markstrom's been quite good as well. 12-8-5, 2.23 goals against average, 9.24 save percentage. Florida power play 19.7%, penalty killing 81.2%. Calgary power play 21.2%, penalty killing 84.2%. Panthers coming off their fourth straight win, 9-2 at home over the Jackets on Saturday night. They've outscored the opposition, Jackets and Stars, over the last 2 games, 16-3. They have so much depth. This hockey team is just stand back and respect. Let me just pull it up here. Oh, I moved it over. Sorry. It's just unbelievable. I just got to go over their depth at forward because it's just so impressive here. I mean, we know what Barkov can do. Huberdeau's putting up MVP-type numbers, but it goes beyond that. This team has so much. Grabbing Verhaeghe at such a low price point off of the Lightning was brilliant. Huberdeau, 53 points. Aaron Ekblad. I mean, too bad he's the second best defenseman in the state of Florida because Victor Hedman's so spectacular. But Ekblad, plus 26, 35 points in 37 games, playing 25 minutes a game. He's been spectacular. Verhaeghe is 31 points, 37 games. Reinhart, 31 and 35. Anthony Duclair is a plus 28. He's got 30 points in 30 games. He plays a big man game, even though he's not a big man. You got Barkov, 29 points, 25 games. You got Mackenzie Weegar playing awesome because he's Ekblad's defensive partner. Anton Lundell, 23 points in 34 games. He's a plus 14. Sam Bennett, 23 points in 29 games. He's a plus 19. You have another defenseman, Gustav Forsling, that's a plus 19. Radko Gudas, who is not good enough to play for the Flyers. He's a plus 19 down in Florida. Mason Marchment is a plus 10 in 13 games, and he'll punch you right in the face. He's a tough kid. Flames have lost 4 straight. They're once again showing their true colors. And look, I despise the Flames because I grew up in Vancouver. I just despise them. When Dennis Garcia was so high on them, I wanted them to shit the bed. Nothing brings me more joy than watching the Flames suck dick, and that's what they've been doing. And it makes me very, very happy. I hate this hockey team. I imagine Daryl Sutter loses his shit coaching these fucking pansies who don't care. Look at what Sean Monahan's done. He has 4 goals, 12 assists in 34 games played. He's a minus 10. He has 10 power play points. So 5-on-5 this year, he has 4 points. Just pull out a chopstick, sharpen it, and take him out of his fucking misery. He's a bum, and he doesn't have heart. And he got paid that big contract, and now what's he do? Play video games all day. This is a healthy group. They have no excuse for their poor play. How bad is your defense if you play Eric Goodbranson 17 minutes and 45 seconds a game? I think Goodbranson, if you look at the Corsi numbers, he's one of the worst defensemen in NHL, and you play him 18 minutes a game. It's because Daryl Sutter's so sick of these bumps, and at least he thinks he gets some accountability, physical accountability from Goodbranson. But Goodbranson, he's a big little bitch. He won't step up for any of his teammates ever. He fights only when he wants to, only when he finds it advantageous. He doesn't protect his teammates. He doesn't care about his teammates. This is a shit hockey team. And you got Matthew Tkachuk, Lindholm, Goudreau carrying this team offensively. I'd love this team losing. Dennis Garcia says Calgary will win tonight. Look, I'm not on Florida, but I hope Calgary loses and fucking loses and fucking loses.
Well, I like Calgary. I don't mean as a bet tonight. I mean just as a team in general. But okay, that was passionate right there, Jimmy the Bag.
Look, they're everything that I said they would be, Dennis.
I like them. But all right, I guess we can move on. No official pick, Jimmy the Bag?
No. Daryl Sutter is such a spectacular coach. You're probably getting a buy low spot on the Flames. The Flames have won 4 of 12 games at home. Bunch of fucking bombs. And Dennis says such an inspired speech not to take Florida. If I could have taken them when they first came out, and I didn't want them at minus 110 or minus 115. Not going to take them minus 145. Where are they at bet 365 anyways? Minus 145. Yeah, I don't think the I don't know how the Panthers are being so good, but let's not forget the Panthers have won 5 of 14 games on the road. It's that home at 19-3-3. All right, let's roll. Let's roll last game and then let's get.
Okay. Jimmy the Bag is like, we got Maxwell Smart waiting, but nothing takes precedence over telling you how much I love to watch Calgary suck dick. All right, so we got Tampa. So no official play for you, right, Jim?
None. No.
Okay, Tampa Bay and LA, in that last rant we heard about what you think of Tampa Bay. Obviously an awesome, impressive team. So they're going to be big favorites on the road, basically from here on out. Not to say that they won't be a good bet in many of those spots, but might be a little treacherous, might be a little trappy. LA, clearly an inferior team, but not a bad team at all. They've won, 5 out of the last 7 or something, beating teams, maybe not the greatest teams in the NHL, but winning, game in and game out for the most part recently. And now they're a huge home dog. I didn't look into this game deep enough to have an opinion, and I'm glad, because I think if I did, I would be afraid to touch it. What do you think, Jimmy the Bag?
The Lightning are so good. They're so good, but you have to think that. So we got a little bit of feedback there, Pete. But you have to think that the Kings bounced back from what happened yesterday. Have to think that they do. By the way, we got Max backstage right now. We need the games you want covered in NCAA basketball. Guillermo Zertucci going to his first NHL game here, and what a fun spot it will be at Crypto Arena this evening. Let's see what the market move has been in this game here. Sorry. We have Lightning opening up at -175. They're now -200 or -210. That's wild. Absolutely wild. They've won 3 straight, 20.2% power play, 81.2% penalty killing. Vasilevsky's been so good. After the Kings shit the bed last night with Johnny Quick, Cal Peterson's going to be in net, and he's looked much better of late. But the Lightning coming off a 3-1 win at home over Dallas on Saturday night. They're rested. They're sharp. Andre Palat, day-to-day with an undisclosed injury, and both defensemen Eric Cernak and Zach Bogosian are out with lower body injuries. There's been times when I've seen the Lightning be down 2 defensemen. I thought, are they vulnerable? And then Hedman plays over 30 minutes a game. God, is he good. 40 points in 40 games. He's a +12. Stamkos has stepped up. What a leader. Alex Killorn, 12 goals, 24 assists, 36 points in 40 games. Kucherov and Point are back. This team is so dangerous. I haven't seen much of Braden Point in the last 5 games. He's got 8 points in 5 games. He's just a hell of a player. Look, the Kings lost their 4-game winning streak in spectacular fashion. 6-2 last night in San Jose. Timo Meier scored 5 goals. Carl Grundstrom and Adrian Kempe are out with COVID. Kempe's a big loss. He leads the team with goals at 17. He's a good hockey player. Elias Anderson out with an undisclosed injury. Ons and Kopitar has been very good. 12 goals, 23 assists, 35 points, 39 games. He looked very good in the game. I watched him play here at Crypto. But it's Philip Danault. He's completely changed the dynamic of this squad. God, he's a hell of a hockey player. 9 goals, 12 assists, 21 points. He's in 37 games. He leads the team with +13. Like, he's way ahead in plus-minus. He wins faceoffs. He does everything you need. He's such a key cog to that Habs team that rolled. Look, I don't want big road favorites here. So, and I expect the Kings to bounce back. I even think the Kings' first period would be an interesting look. Are the Lightning going to be ready to fire out? I've tried to fade the Lightning first period, and I've lost, and I'm not going to go that well. If I had the free play, I'd be on Kings' first period, but no play from me, Pete.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I didn't look into that game deeply, but I glanced at it, and I was like, yeah, this is probably one of those games where I would look into it deeply for half an hour and be like, I don't want to touch it.
It's a tough one. I think Kings' first period, probably. I've tried this, and it's just not working. A +150 on the Kings' first period I like, but just not enough across the board. Not enough across the board. And let's just go over a review for us in NHL. Slatsy says Bolts 9-0 last 9 versus Kings, and he says historical trends matter. Turnsy's on goal first 10 minutes. Yes. Goal first 10 minutes. Yes. Let's review action. Pete is on the Ottawa team total over 3.5 at -105. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day's Ottawa regulation. I'm on the Sens -1 at -106, and the huge market moves happened because of the issues with the Buffalo Sabres goaltending. Then Pete is on the Jets team total over 2.5 at -129. I'm off Jets Capitals. I'm on the Islanders -1 at +124. That's available right now. Those odds are available right now. Pete's on the Canucks team total over 2.5 -115. I'm on the Canucks +125. That's gone down to +110. Pete's on the Stars -1 at -240. He's taken these huge -1 spots with heavy juice, and they haven't burned them all year.
Well, they burned me once. They burned me once, but they cashed enough times to remember the Pittsburgh line. Pittsburgh line -1 -172.
They've done it once, yeah. I'm on the Stars puck line -1.5 -105. I probably wouldn't take it at -130. I'm on the Montreal Dallas over 5.5. I'm surprised it's moving to the under. but that's what it's doing. I don't trust either goaltender on either team. I'm off Panthers Flames. I can understand why this total went from 6 to 6.5. And then Lightning Kings, I am off. But that first period, nobody's perfect on that first period under. And I have some interest in the Kings first period. Mr. Ghoster will be back in action with us on Thursday and Friday. It is time to move into NCAA basketball. Are you ready to rock and roll, Pistol Pete?
I'm ready to rock. And roll, I don't know, but I'm definitely at least ready to rock. Okay, Jim?
Well, let's bring on your expert here in NCAA basketball. He's coming off just a spectacular week, 7-3 plus 3.65 units. And I love working with him. Please welcome to the show the Cupcake King, Maxwell Smart, in the house. Maxie, what's happening?
What's going on, Jim? What's going on, Elton? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. You're a sight for sore eyes, Maxwell Smart.
Yeah, listen, it's Big Tuesday. It's a heavy game day with premier programs playing, highly anticipated matchups, even revenge matchups. So there's a lot to talk about, a lot to go over on this card. And for your mainstream college basketball fan, which I am absolutely not, this is the perfect card for you. So get into it.
All right, well, let's get to work right now. Steve Priest shitting on the Canucks. Yeah, no, the Canucks suck. They do. But I thought you left our show, Steve. I thought you whined like a little bitch after Max's first show of the year, and I thought you sucked your own dick and fucked off. But you're back. You're back, which I couldn't care less to see your face, and you can fuck off anytime. All right, let's get to work here. We have games being offered up from the chat. God, that pissed me off when Steve went off on the first day of the year. Like he's a fucking child who doesn't understand how capping works.
You know,
So
all right, he probably has a few emotional problems. Join the club. You know what I'm saying? I'm very forgiving of people's mistakes in life, Jimmy the Bag. And I officially want to go on the record and say, I forgive that dude for whatever he did. You know what I'm saying?
I want him to fuck off forever.
Yeah, Jim, I'm with you. He can go fuck off
That's what
also.
I want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's not mentally deranged. I'm just saying, join the club.
He can eat a bag of dick, that's for sure.
Let he who is not mentally deranged cast the first stone here, Maxwell Smart. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy the Bag is not mentally deranged, but you definitely are, Maxwell Smart. You know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah, of course I am. I'm proud of it.
All right, let's get to work. And I think he said he wasn't going to come back. He said he was done, but of course he
keeps on coming back. He keeps on saying it, Jim.
Not only do I want him back, I'm willing to beg him back and make a special video begging him to come back. That's how much I believe in forgiving people. I'm a Christ-like figure here in the sports betting world, Jimmy the Bag.
It pissed me off, Pete, because Steve had been with us from the very beginning, and to shit on the first day of picks made me just hope that he, wakes up in a ditch somewhere and then falls back asleep and never wakes up again. All right, let's get back to work.
His life in 2022.
And he loves you, though. He says he's only tuned in for the Legend Loshak. Well,
thank you, Steve Priest. I love you. I'm with you, baby. I'm with you, baby.
Oh, Steve, I couldn't despise you more, Steve Priest. I would prefer if you.
I would be surprised if he's not a pedophile, Jim.
We agree to disagree all the time. Like sometimes you like Vancouver, I like Nashville. It's okay. Honest people can disagree, right?
Yes, they can. Okay, let's get to work here. We have a lot of action here from the chat, and Sammy Comer wants to get started right away with a huge game here with Duke, Florida State. Let me move over to the market moves here, and I'll see if Sportsbook Review is back in action. But right now, we have Action Network that we're using for market moves. We have Florida opening up at +5. There is a 5.5 on the board. I'll bring up their total right now as well. We have this opening up at 144.5. Now it's at 144.5 or 145. Max, what do you think here? Huge game, Duke, Florida State.
Yeah, listen, I think that Duke's going to have a little easier time scoring the basketball without Malik Osborne in the lineup. The bottom line is with Florida State, it's just a matter of how they're going to be able to score. If they're not able to get into the mid-30s and get this total over 70 in the first half, they're going to be in big trouble. I think with Duke, their defense is improved, and with Wendell Moore, this is a guy that's putting up Tyrese Halliburton numbers. He's the X factor for Duke, and I think that if they run out that lineup with Banchero and AJ Griffin at the 4 and 5, that's when they're most offensively talented. And I think that Duke and Florida State are going to put up a high-scoring game today.
What do you think, Pistol?
You're talking about Florida State. Yeah, I was, I did look into this game pretty significantly, and my note here is not sure, leaning Florida State plus 4.5 question mark. I mean, they have that huge front line, and Duke has been doing well there recently, and it's just a matter of will Florida State be able to neutralize them, and I think probably they will. Maybe not for a whole game though. It's a tough one. I'd be leaning Florida State. But yeah, again, the absence of Osborne is huge. So it's I definitely didn't bet it, and I have no strong opinion. Although you don't like Florida State, then, right, Max?
No, I think that Duke wins this game by close to double digits.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pass for me.
Did you want to make this? I guess Max will let me know when he wants to make anything official. So we'll keep rolling here. The next spot here is from Turnsey. He's looking at Baylor, West Virginia. And same with you, Pete. Anytime you want to make anything official, just let me know, and we will roll.
And for this one, let me give my 5-second opinion before Max does his in-depth analysis, okay?
Sure, take it away.
Oh, Max, I'm assuming, it's a low total, but it's going to be an intense game. Both teams, I think, want to clamp down defensively in this spot. Got to be thinking under, right, Max? No?
I think that with it, it's not even the spot I look at the total. I think that it's a spot where I have to look at the situational angle with Baylor coming off a loss, having to go into another building and pull it together. I think that seeing their offense struggle the way that they did last time out definitely opened my eyes to some glaring issues, but I think that they come back. I think that this is a first half Baylor spot, and with one of the top teams in the nation, I do think that we do have value coming back with them and seeing them at under 10 points as a favorite. Wow,
so you like Baylor here, huh?
I like Baylor first half. I think that with my live betting style, it gives me a lot of maneuvering ability. Yeah. And that's why I go with first halves with favorites a lot of the time.
And I would agree that this game is one I would talk about when I was doing my halftime show. This does have second half written all over it a little bit more than any pregame play. But I'm looking at this, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a defense-oriented game under, and maybe a lean to West Virginia getting that many points at home. But Baylor's legitimately significantly better than West Virginia in your estimation. Right, Max?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. West Virginia's too reliant on Taz Sherman. Is Sean McNeil going to be that go-to scorer? I just don't know. Defensively, they can hold their own against anybody in the conference. It's offensively that I worry about them.
Right, me too. That's why I'm thinking under,
All right, nothing official from our guys right now. Anybody looking to talk about a game, jump in the chat and let us know what you are looking for. We've gone through Sammy Culmers. We've gone through Turnsies. Next up is our man T. He's looking at Wisconsin Northwestern. Let me see if it's here on the Action Network. And I'm sure it is. It's taking me a second here to find it. Pete, did you look at Wisconsin Northwestern?
I absolutely did. And this is a game where I want to hear this is a game where matchups will matter. Situationally, though, Northwestern coming off a big, impressive win. I'm looking at this thinking, unless I hear otherwise from Maxwell Smart, I'd definitely be leaning hard towards Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
You're right on it. This is a first half full game spot with Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're not a bigger favorite. I would have had them closer to 5.5 or 6. I think that this is a spot where Johnny Davis is the answer for Wisconsin every game. If he has a bad offensive game, your ass is going to be clenched as tight as a bank vault. But if you don't, then you're going to be freaking rolling in. You're going to be freaking eating cupcakes, dipping your chicken tenders in honey, and cashing tickets. I think that the biggest issue issue for Northwestern is who's going to be available in their front court. With Elijah Williams and Pete Nance potentially out and questionable as of right now, I definitely want to find out the status of them before we get gung-ho about it. But from a number perspective and from a data perspective, it's Wisconsin all day. So I'll even make that official, Jim. Let's double up there. Let's Wisconsin first half full game it.
There you go. I took it at 2 actually, and now it's up to 3. And probably the first half is a better play there, right? Maxwell Smart, I would say.
Absolutely. You want to see the start, and of course you want to have, like I mentioned before, maneuvering ability. And that's what live betting comes in.
You know, Jim, you can put that, this also has second half written all over it, but you can put that down for me officially as well. I'll just use a Pinnacle line. Wisconsin first half -1, -113, current line at Pinnacle.
Okay. Let me grab this Wisconsin. So for Pete, he's on Wisconsin first half -1. What was the juice?
Well, -113, although I'm sure with line shopping you'd find a better line. But again, we don't have time for that, so I'll just take -113 at Pinnacle, current line.
Okay, that's for Pete. And there is still a 2.5 at Sugar House, but it's at -114. Max, what did you want to make official here for Whiskey?
Listen, I want to make the first half and full game official, Jim. Let's rock out with our what's out.
You know, I probably should take the full game too, but I'm just gonna be a little bit cautious here. Yeah, I like it too, though. And definitely, if Wisconsin's down at the half, all over Wisconsin on the second half for sure.
Okay, and that -113 for first half is the best I can find right now.
That's fine. We don't need to. Way more important to get as many opinions from Maxwell Smart than find an extra 2 cents for me.
Okay, so Max is on Whiskey first half -1 and -113, and he's on the full game. Do you want that 2.5 at -114, Max?
Yeah, I'll take that. That's fine.
Okay, I've got Pinnacle up as well, so I'll double check everything to make sure that these are the best lines available. -2.5, -114.
Talk with Jay Money says Whiskey looks too easy. Yeah, a little bit, but sometimes. In fact, quite often, a lot of those looks too easy plays wind up being just low-hanging fruit plays. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call this low-hanging fruit, but I understand why it looks too easy. I thought of that, and I was like, I'm going to go with it anyway. But yeah, it does, quote-unquote, look too easy. I would agree with that. And I'm sure you would too, Max, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Play the number and use the situation as a factor to validate it.
Next up here is Paulie Walnuts. He's looking at the Ohio-Miami of Ohio spot. Pistol, did you take a look at this one?
Yes, and I bet it on the overnight line. I hope I'm not wrong, but if I am, okay. No analysis here. Ohio -1, autoplay.
Ohio -1, autoplay. It opened at -1, still sitting at -1. Maxwell Smart, sorry, let me see if I can get this total up here as well. It's going to take me a second. God, I hate this site. Max, what do you think of this Miami of Ohio spot?
They are definitely the premier team, in my opinion, because of their point guard play and their versatility up front with Ben Vonder plays and, of course, Jason Carter. I think that Miami, Ohio is going to definitely give them a better fight at home than they would on the road. With their experience and their versatility at the guard spot with Larry Grant and Delonte Brown, that does form a really nice trio. They do have a deep bench and a contributing bench. So I do understand why the number is this low. For me, I agree with Pete, but I'm not going to make it an official play.
Why not?
Just because I do see a really good free throw shooting team, and if Miami can score the basketball against Ohio's defense, which is not a guarantee in any sense, then they're going to be in this game. They may be ahead at halftime. We've seen Ohio on the road have a couple slow starts and then be able to pick it up. And this could be a dangerous matchup for them, considering the experience on the other side, the home court advantage, and the excellence on offense, basically.
Next stop is from our guy, Jay Peasy. Shout out to Jay Peasy. He wants Fresno State, Utah State. Fresno State opening up at -3. It's now at 2.5 at most books. The threes have no vig. And the 131.5 totals down to 130 at Pinnacle. And this is the degenerate special here. This is the last game on the board for the evening, and an interesting one, especially for those on the West Coast where it won't be too late. Pete, did you look at Utah State, Fresno State?
Yes, no opinion, pass.
Max, take it away. Utah State, Fresno State.
Yeah, listen, I think that this is a spot where we can get some value with Fresno. Fresno, if you've been on them this year, if you've been on them at home, then you got some plus money to play with when it comes to this game. This is a tight matchup from an offensive perspective, but from a defensive perspective, that is where Fresno's going to have the big edge. I think that Fresno definitely is a team that has to get off to a good start. We saw it last time against UNLV. Aside from, we saw a level of offense that I hadn't seen at least in 10 or 11 games. I think that with this Fresno State team, they have to be able to hit their free throws. They don't get to the free throw line often, but when you have Orlando Robinson and you can throw a whole bunch of different type of isolation looks at a defense with him starring in it, the 7-footer is very hard to stop, and not a lot of people throw him those dues and respects. I think that this is a spot where Fresno is being mislined. I think that they win this game handily, and I'll gladly take the short favorite with them.
Okay, let's grab it. You want them full game? See a -2.5 and -109. I'll see if that is, in fact, a valid line, but it looks like it is. I'll see what Circa's hanging as well. So let's grab that for Max. Fresno State full game. And here we go. Why don't we just head over to this easy to find, the final game on the card. And we have, here we go, -2.5, -109. That is a line available right now. Let's lock Max in. While we're doing that, next up, your UConn Huskies is what JPZ wants to know. Now ranked 25th in the nation. They are up against Butler. They opened as 13-point favorites. They moved to 13.5. This total is dropping quickly. Pinnacle is the first book to move it down to 124.5. Pete, did you look at Butler, Connecticut?
Yes, total stay away from me.
Max, take it away. Your Huskies in action.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, I have tried to make and keep this promise about the Bonnies and the Huskies. I'm not going to influence you guys to bet this game with your heart. I do think that if UConn is going to have their way and route this spot, this game will stay under. But at 124, we're in the danger zone. If this was a game in the 130s, I'd be looking at it a little differently. I want my Huskies to win by margin. I do think that they can replicate what Villanova did to Butler last time out, even with Butler having Bo Hodges and Ty Gross back. I think at the end of the day, though, I can't trust my Huskies to freaking do what they're supposed to do in a conference game. So I will not be telling you guys to bet on them. I think that riding the first half under may be a look, but it's not going to make my board, and I have no bet in the game as we speak.
What about your St. Bonaventure Bonnies here? They are in Dayton, and this is the next spot in the that JPZ was wondering about. The Dayton opening up as 3-point favorites. Market moving towards the Bonnies now, who are now +2 or +1, depending on where you shop. I know you're trying to stay away from them. Did you have a lean on the spot, Max?
Listen, I bet the Bonnies. I think that while this is their second true road game, I do think that they will be able to win it. If this was an afternoon day game on a Saturday or Sunday, I don't think that they would. I think that it's obviously key for them to be able to get out to a lead and allow some of their starters to get some rest. Because if you run these guys out 40 minutes like Mark Schmidt's doing every game, then they are going to get hurt eventually, and that will torpedo the season. You have a very tough opponent in Dayton that you're going up against, and you have to respect them. Malachi Smith has really assumed the throne in the backcourt for this team, and with Dayron Holmes and Mustafa Mzil and all the front court strength and size that this Dayton team has, they're going to need to stay out of foul trouble versus Dayton team. It's going to be a brutal dogfight. I will be freaking watching it quite closely. And like I say with St. Bonaventure, guys, they are a second half bet on team. So if they do fall behind in the first half, which is definitely possible with them being an underdog, there is always going to be value with the Bonnies coming back and winning a game. So look out for them live. And I'm betting with my heart, but I'm also backing some numbers that are definitely convincing me with the Bonnies on this one too.
Pete, did you have interest in St. Bonaventure Dayton?
No, I think it's interesting. I'm just here spazzing out about the Ohio line. And you know what? Fuck it. Throw it on there for me, Jimmy the Bag. Ohio -1, -110. I'll take it. I know it's out of order here, but I throw it on me. Official. Okay? Ohio -1, -110.
Ohio -1, -110. All right, let's keep rolling here. Next up, the Cappers in the chat want to talk North Carolina, Miami Hurricanes. Let's see what we have here. North Carolina opening at -2.5 Pinnacle, and nothing's changed. A 1 cent move in their favor. It's the total that has dropped quickly, opening up at 158 down to 154 at Pinnacle, 153 at Sports Interaction. Pete, did you look at this one?
Yeah, I mean, this classic situation where, a team that is outplaying their preseason expectations by a mile and getting out-rebounded every game, still winning, and that's because they have, phenomenal and cohesive guard play. And, how long is that going to last? Not exactly sure. I'm gonna stay off of this one, but if the total is headed down like that, a lot of times in a matchup like this, I'm thinking that it's probably bettable even after the move. But no, I didn't bet it when I handicapped it though.
Let's keep rolling. Ron Walsack, you looking at USF South Florida over 124.
Oh, Max not gonna talk about that one.
No, sorry. Of course, he's going to talk North Carolina.
Oh.
Sorry, shout out to Ron Walsack and his birthday Friday. Ron Walsack's birthday Friday. We love Ron Walsack very much. Been with us since the very beginning. Max, North Carolina, Miami. Take it away.
Yeah, listen, this is a battle of some very stout freaking front courts, and I think that North Carolina's front court is going to make the difference because they got Dawson Garcia back. They also have Justin McCoy, which definitely provides a little more depth, a little less impact. However, with North Carolina last year and the year before, what have we been talking about? North Carolina can't shoot threes. North Carolina can't hit threes. Their backcourt is not developing under Roy Williams. Well, we've already seen a huge transformation with this backcourt under Hubert Davis, and they're shooting threes. They're hitting 40%. They are a dangerous team inside and out now, and remind us of the North Carolina teams we grew up watching. So I think that with Caleb Love and Leaky Black and then Kerwin Walton off the bench, that is a very dynamic three-point shooting attack. And I think that Armando Bacot is just getting more and more comfortable offensively. It doesn't look clean when the ball comes off his freaking hand when he shoots the basketball, but it is going in, and this is a front court that he can really feast on. I think North Carolina is the spot. It's just not a game that I'm betting either way because of the line move. And just because of how good Miami's 1-2 tandem with Isaiah Wong and Cam Augusti's been.
Next up, Spencer Carminati joining us, wanting Iowa State, Texas Tech breakdown. Pete, take it away.
I hit this one on the overnight line, and the market has moved significantly in that direction. I took the over. I got 126.5. It's now up to 130.5. Obviously, I don't like it as much, but I think I'd still take it at 130.5. It's understandable in light of what these two teams have done and their scores to date. Have been why the total was so low, but I think that Iowa State's going to try to have some more success playing a little bit of a more up-tempo game, and Texas Tech should shoot okay, and I took the over. I got 126.5 at 130.5. I'd probably still take it, and I was leaning Iowa State team total over as well.
Max, take it away here. 15th ranked Iowa State at 18th ranked Texas Tech.
Yeah, there's no other way that I play this game except Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with the Cyclones, they've played some of their best basketball on the road versus at home. Now in a situation where we've seen a 12-point line move in favor of the home team, I just don't agree with that line move. So I'll gladly take Iowa State.
And do you want to make? Oh, I'll let you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, did you want to make the official Iowa State? Wait,
what do you mean 12-point line move in favor of the home team?
Yeah, because Iowa State was a 4-point favorite last time out.
Okay, right. Sorry. Sorry. Yes.
All right, Max.
Wait, Jimmy the Bag. I want to maybe you can throw on the Iowa State team total over for me. That's 60.5 minus 116 right now. I'll look at see if I can get a better line anywhere, but I'll take the Iowa State team total over. It's 60.5 minus 116 at least.
Iowa State team total over 60.
Actually, give me. I'm looking at Heritage right now. 61 minus 105. I'll take that.
Over 61 minus 105 for Pete. Max is looking at backing Iowa State full game. Okay, we just have a couple games left. Thank you guys for bringing up all the games that you want, Max and Pete, to break down. So with these couple games left, we're going to do maybe we should offer this up, Max, because we want to talk about the game that pops off in an hour and 29 minutes. We want to end with that. Would you rather talk about Maryland, Michigan, Max, or Tennessee, Vanderbilt?
I'd rather talk about Maryland, Michigan.
Well, let's move on to Maryland, Michigan here. And we have Michigan opening up as 6-point favorites. It's moved up to 7. This total at 137 now, at 136. Pete, did you look at Maryland, Michigan?
Oh, yeah. Interesting matchup. Very interesting. I mostly want to hear what Max has to say about it. It's a pass for me as of right now.
Max, take it away.
Yeah, listen, I think that with Michigan, we've seen them play some defensive basketball. And while I don't think that it's the best recipe for this roster with how much offensive talent and shooting capability you do have, the key for Michigan is always going to be right now. You know what you're going to get from Hunter Dickinson. He's as consistent as a lady of the night coming to give you a hand job. I think that when you look at this backcourt, Devontae Jones and Eli Brooks, these are the guys that got to freaking lead this team. And I think that we've seen glimpses of it in games against this Maryland perimeter defense. They're going to have to be on point. I think that this is a spot where Michigan is definitely going to be a team that I think has some value. I just want to see them get off to a good start, and that's why it's hard for me to pull the trigger on them right away. I just think that at the end of the day, while Danny Manning may be taking over this team, I just don't think that they've improved. I think that they're more 3-point happy, and if that's dropping, that's going to help them look better. But at the end of the day, it's not an improvement. It's actually, I think that it's gone down in quality for their style of basketball. I think it's a Michigan spot, and I'll take Michigan officially.
Taking Michigan officially. By the way, I got you a +8 with very low VIG, -103. That was available at Pinnacle for Max's look on Iowa State. He's looking at Michigan now. Okay, we're looking at Michigan now. This is the last game on that we're doing with Maxwell Smart. Again, you can catch him at 5 p.m. Eastern alongside Connor Mack breaking down the card. But we have a game that pops off in an hour and 27 minutes. Canisius St. Peter's. Max, you've had a nice read on St. Peter's this year. St. Peter's opening up as 8.5-point favorites. Now that's down to 7.5. This total's gone from 132.5 to 134.5. Pistol Pete, did you look at this 2 p.m. game to help our guys get through their workday?
I didn't bet it, but and also after we do this one, do you want to do like a quick 30-second where I'll just slowly list the other bets that I did make on the overnight lines?
Yeah, I would love that.
Very quickly, I'll do it. This one, I had a lean to the under at 131. It's obviously gotten bet up, so that lean was probably wrong, although maybe not. No bet on it and no opinion as of right now.
And back to that Maryland-Michigan spot, Birdie says 4.5 points of value on Maryland, but trends did not support it. Max, here we go. The game to get our guys through their workday, Canisius St. Peter's. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, I think that this St. Peter's team is very talented defensively. With the Dramies and Casey Nadafo, you're going to have very good rebounding, stout defensive interior play, and it's just about can you get that shooting. You know that this team does not take a lot of threes. They need to get those open threes to be able to take them. They want to go inside. They want to get to the free throw line. That's their best avenue of consistent offense. We've seen them play games that have gone way under this number and have been freaking ass clenchers. Pete, when I bet this game on the overnight, I took the under 133 with Canisius St. Peter's. I am perfectly fine with that number. I think that with Canisius, while they definitely have a healthy and full roster with Malik Green back in the lineup and coming off the bench, this is still a Canisius team that plays very good 3-point defense. You know, if they can stop St. Peter's from driving at will, I think that this game is going to stay under. And I think that with Xavier Long's addition to the lineup has only benefited this team's continuity and their defensive structure. I think that if they get some decent scoring from Malik Green, they have a chance to stay in it. But the under is the play that I bet, and the under is the play that I'm going to freaking vouch for on the show.
All
I
right.
agree with that. I didn't bet it. I don't think I'm going to, but that's what I was thinking when I looked at it.
And also, Circa offering Michigan at -6.5. So we got Max that. This total up to 134.5 at Pinnacle. Let's see. Will Circa give us 135? No. The under 134.5 -107 though at Circa, and that's 2 cents better. So is that an official spot, Max?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So the under in St. Peter's, Canisius, under 134.5 at -107. Okay, Pete, before we put a bow on this and review your action and Max's action, please tell us your morning line or the overnight lines.
Overnight line stuff that I bet that I took, and if Max wants to shout out agree or disagree at any point, Baylor, West Virginia under 138.5, definitely not a lock, but I still think that's a decent play, and I did take that one. Probably a mistake here. South Carolina, Arkansas, I took under 149. Now it's gotten bet up to 153.5. Now I realize that was a mistake. I took Eastern Carolina plus 3.5 against UCF, not huge. Ohio, I took what?
Like it,
yeah. I took Iona -1.5 on the overnight line. I took this one a little bit trappy, similar to the Iowa State game where I saw Crystal Warren was like, why is Iowa State such a big underdog? Doesn't quite make sense. I agree, which is why I kind of prefer the team total over for Iowa State instead of the points. Similar game here, Maxwell Smart. I think I might have gotten trapped, although the market appears to have moved in my favor. I took Missouri plus 9.5. It's now down to 8. Still feels trappy, though, but it's just like Mississippi is just maybe the market isn't giving them enough credit for how off they are right now offensively. So I took Missouri plus 9.5, and I didn't take it yet, but I'd be leaning heavily towards Mississippi team total under at whatever that would be. Maybe another trappy one. I'm sure you have a lot to say about this one. I did take South Florida plus 18.5. I know Houston's awesome, but they have a lot of guys injured. That's a big line there. 18.5. That might have been a mistake, but I took South Florida plus 18.5. I took Northern Illinois plus 5.5, and another one. I don't know. I took
Northern Illinois is good.
Yeah, I took Clemson, Syracuse under 147.5. Syracuse has had some issues defensively recently. I think they're going to have a better defensive game here. So I took that one under 147.5 with those fucking Syracuse games. You've seen these in your life, Maxwell Smart, where you take a Syracuse home game with a pretty high total. First half has like 65 points. You're like, I nailed it. Second half has like 100 points scored, and you're like, damn. But we'll see. I took under 147.5 in Clemson, Syracuse. I took Wisconsin, and I took the Iowa State over at 126.5. And I also and I'm going to take it, the Iowa State team total over. So that's my card, Jimmy the Bag.
I like it. Anything you want to add to what you just heard, Max, my man?
The one thing I want to say, do you think South Florida is stupid?
I don't think any bet that you make is stupid, Pete. I know that you put the research and work into it. I just think that those glasses remind me of Elton John.
That means, yes, it was a bad bet and hedge out of it. That means you fucking idiot. You got suckered into taking South Florida. Okay, thank you. I love you, Maxwell Smart. You have mental issues. Join the club like me and our other friend. I forgot what his name is. But I love you very much, and thank you for that input.
All right. Great work, you guys. Really fun. We get Max every day on the show, and we love him to death. And Max has changed the format of this show, and it's working great, Max. That was a great idea. But watching you and Pete go back and forth is really, really enjoyable. There's Shy Archie in the house, PG 00187 in Oppa Birdie. We have Tiffany H., who is a hometown Syracuse girl. I love upstate New York. Respect. And, okay, Ryan Kozlowski, whom we love for a long time. Sorry, we'll just end with this. He's been really wondering what you guys thought of the total in that Miami of Ohio game. Do either of you guys have a lean on that? And then we'll put a bow on this.
My note on my lean is under, but that's definitely a lean and then not a bet.
What about you, Max, my man?
Yeah, if Ohio's going to bring that same quality of defense, this game probably tends to stay under.
So I was maybe leaning Miami, Ohio as well. Under. Sorry, team total under as well.
All right. And yeah, Mr. Gokster is in Belleville, right on the other side of the Q's. God, I love upstate New York. I gotta get back there this summer when the borders open up. Okay, let's review Pete's action. Pete is on Wisconsin first half -1 at -113. Ohio -1 at -110. Iowa State team total over 61 at -105. Maximilian is on Wisconsin first half -1 at -113 with Pete. He's on the full game -2.5 at -114. He doubled up. He's on Fresno State -2.5 at -109. Iowa State +8 at -103. Michigan -6.5 at -110. And he's on the under in St. Peter's Canisius under 134.5 at -107. Max, thank you so much for rolling with us. Follow our man Max on Twitter at CBMS420. College basketball is heating up, and he's the man that you want to be working with. Max, thank you so much. Have a great show today at 5
p.m. One quick question, just 5 seconds.
Sure.
Max, you think that that's like terrible? Like get off South Florida?
No, I think that if you're Houston, you're relying on Kyler Edwards to have a big game, and you got to get front court production from Carlton and Fabian White. They're not going to be able to go deep. They may only go 6 guys.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that this game definitely has the potential for offense if South Florida's hitting threes. That's the key for them, and they've been hitting the last couple games.
All right. Thank you, Max. And thank you, Jimmy, for granting me that.
We love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the chat, for giving us all these games. And Max, really great move, switching up the format here and being just watching you run is just really, really fun. Have a great show tonight. Watch Max's show alongside Connor Mack, 5 p.m. Eastern. Max, any last-minute important information you want to give us regarding honey mustard, honey...
nothing like that, Jim. Nothing like that. I'll just say that. Remember when we started this show, the three of us, this was the format that we used. We used to go through the card, and then this is what works. Everybody else on the freaking internet does shows like this. Can we not do something different? Come on.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Jim,
yeah.
If you're allowed out, maybe you and I, we go see Dr. Mandy. She's almost done medical school. She needs our freaking stripper dollars. And maybe your GF will freaking allow you a night out with me and Dr. Mandy.
I won't pitch it quite like that. Oh, wait, he left. He just disappeared. No, there he is. I won't pitch it quite like that, Max. But that does sound very enjoyable. I love working with you, Max. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Great work. Have a great show today.
All right, take care, guys.
There he is, Maxwell Smart. Joshua Chipman says, I love the under in Pete's game, too. Just needed to hear it. Thanks, boys. One of the things, I guess it was selfish of me with the way we were handling college basketball before. We're just about to pop off with Trot Wam here in a second, but in NBA. So thank you guys for rolling with us. But I guess it was selfish because I wanted, when Max picked the games he wanted to captain, I got a chance just to cap them with, and I'm not a college basketball capper, but I got the chance to cap them and then see if anything kind of correlated with the way I was seeing it, and then bet. And then this way, flying by the seat of the pants. I know it's so exciting for the audience, but I have not. It just makes it harder for me to bet. So I guess it was just more of a selfish thing because when it comes down to it, my action is very important to my life, and I need to succeed. And I have not moved in college basketball in a while. So my college basketball record, which was strong there for a while, has suffered just 25 wins, 24 losses, hitting at 51%, down 1.05 units, ROI minus 2.14%, average line minus 105. Again, Pete has been very good. 20-14, 58.8% plus 4.6 units, ROI 13.53%. And Maxwell Smart coming off a 7-3 week plus 3.65 units on the year. He's 68 and 66, but he's got an average line at minus 101. He's hit a bunch of first half big plus numbers. So he's just 68, 66, but he's down 0.18 units. So ROI 0.13%. We know that's going to go up. Gary Tenebra, thank you so much for rolling with us. All right. Let's move on to NBA, and I can't wait to cap with this man. I love him. Please welcome to the show, Wham Bam in the house. Compton, California, go Wham Bam. Wham, how are you, my man? All right, we're still muted. We're on bated breath. We're on bated breath here. We just you see the smile, but we're waiting for the. Okay. Looks like.
Hey, Jose, press on. Jose, press on. Click on find audio. Click on.
Jose's done everything he can. Wham,
let's Wham, just come back in and out. And by the way,
there it is.
Okay, we're back to. Okay, yeah. Can you say something, Wham? Can we see your lips move while you talk?
There There it goes. There
There
it goes.
it is. There it is.
Damn.
Wham.
I don't know what happened. When I
It's all
connect,
good.
it's just yeah, it's weird. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Feel good to be here. I'm glad you guys are prolonging the show. I'm finally getting my son to calm down. It's perfect timing. So I'm here, bro. What's up?
Well, we love capping with you. We got Pistol Pete back in action. By the way, Pete, there have been a couple different comments hoping for a couple bars from Tiny Dancer. I know that's
Tiny
up
Dancer?
to you. That's up
I don't know
to
if
you.
I've never done an Elton John impression.
But I think one might be coming.
I love the glasses.
How does he sing? I don't know.
You're on your way.
I'm still standing better than I ever did. I can't do Elton John. I don't know how he sings.
Just take your
It's great
time.
though.
We believe in you. Wham Bam, how are things? How did your night go yesterday? And are you ready to attack this 2-game card?
Yesterday, I tricked it off in the Laker game. I had the over 2.5 with Malik Monk, over 16.5 into 14. Missed a few threes down the stretch that would have gave us the over and the points there. So it would have been a big positive night. It still was. I still walked away with units, but it would have been a bigger positive night if I wouldn't have never even bet the game. So kind of a little torn from that. But again, like we always say, we do the shows daily. You keep going, you stay positive, you keep going, you do the work, and we're feeling good today. We feel like we got some spots here, so we're gonna make some money today for sure.
Well, we also have cappers asking about San Antonio. I'm going to get everything clarified today with the man who is the captain of this ship, Jeff Slaughter. But what I'm expecting, and like DJ Big Boss is coming that weekend of the 25th to the 27th. I think we're going to be there over 3 weekends. But my expectation is that 25th to 27th being the big one. But I will be there over those 3 weekends, the 17th, 18th, 25th, 27th, and then I'll come home on that Sunday of the first weekend of April. But we're going to be doing it up big. Let's get right to work here, and I'm going to confirm that with everybody so everybody will know, and we'll hammer it. 7:30 p.m. Eastern is when we start. Minnesota Timberwolves 21-22, 9-12 on the road at New York Knicks 22-22, 11-12 at home. We're at Madison Square Garden in New York, New York. Minnesota over their past 5, 3-2, and second overall in pace. Moving quickly, 104.1 possessions a game. New York on the opposite end there, 30th in pace, just 91.20 possessions a game. It'll be interesting to hear who Wham thinks will dictate said pace. New York also 3-2 over their past 5. This total opening up at 214. A couple books have dropped to the half point to 213.5. Pinnacle's moved at 2 cents. This has opened up with the Timberwolves as 3-point road favorites. The light 3-point road favorites. Minnesota snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 119-99 win at home over the Warriors team missing Steph Curry on Sunday night. Timberwolves are 5-2 over the past 7. Cat goes for 26-11. He's been back now for 6 games from health and safety COVID protocols. And they won a game where D'Angelo was held to 7 points and Edwards was held to 9 points. King Al, we have no taint at this point right now. Matty Ice, we have not had him rolling with us. Dennis Garcia says, think I have to dance with the Knicks. And look, I know that it's impressive. I guess it's impressive Minnesota winning so easily. I know Steph wasn't on the floor without D'Angelo and Ant doing anything. Jalen Noel goes for 17. Beasley goes for 16. That second unit went for 57 points. But are we getting value, or value is probably not the right word. Is this a nice opportunity to back a home dog here? I know the Knicks are on the second half of a back-to-back. 3-game winning streak snapped 97-87 at home for Charlotte last night. They didn't have to travel. They've won 8 of 12. Nobody stepped up. Burks and Fournier were terrible. 3 of 13 from the field. So let's start with that, Wham. We'll hear what our Pistol Pete has to say. But, Wham, what do you think of this spot? And I know you've made a move on the player prop, which you can break it down for us. But take it away here. Wolves, Knicks.
Yeah, you know what? This game, I feel like it is, like you said, who is going to dictate that pace? That's the first thing that stood out to me as far as your breakdown. And I believe it's the team that's going to be shooting the most shots. It's going to be making the most shots. The team that's a little bit more hotter. And I feel like that is the Wolves team at this point. I do agree with the movement for the line. I do agree with the them being favored here on the road. As far as this team, they're not that good as a favorite on the road. But, you know, as far as them being a good team ATS this year, they're definitely just that. I just think this T will smash by, bro, honestly. I just feel like the offense is not consistent enough for me for this New York team to back them. I do like Grimes. I do like some of the guys that they have there, some of the young players that they have. Quickly, on and off, hot streaker guy. Do I think he has a good game today? I could see him having a good game today, but I'm keying in on Vanderbilt. We all know that. I took that earlier last night as soon as the line dropped. Obviously, the line moved against me, but I believe the reason for it to move against me, they took too much money. They want to switch it up a little bit on y'all. y'all slow this down. Let's not make this famous. You know what I'm saying? Slow down. I feel like Jared Vanderbilt does get there. He's hit it 5 straight games. He's one of the top guys as far as field goal percentage in the league, and he's getting a higher percentage of minutes in his career right now. So I think that he's getting that time. He's the guy for them as far as getting boards. You know, I even seen an article. I'm looking up stats and stuff for him. I see an article talk about him. He's the Disney Plus version of Dennis Rodman. I just think that's the empathy of like what you're seeing right now. What you're seeing from him right now is like the epitome. The epitome of what you're seeing right now is emergence in this guy. I think he gets over this points total. 6.5. It's juiced, but I agree with the over 6.5 because I took the 7.5, and I believe the reason for the movement is just try to get the little regulation on the line here. Probably get some other side action here. So I like this move a lot as far as Minnesota. As far as the Randall performance this year, he's been freaking inconsistent, bro. I don't have anything to say good about him. He's just been really inconsistent. As far as everybody else on that side, Evan Fournier, is he going to show up here? He's at the house. He's in Madison Square Garden. I just think it's going to be on the other side. I think it's going to be an Ant-Man day and a Vanderbilt day today. So I like Vanderbilt mostly, and I like the Wolves here. I like the Wolves to smack them up, like my guy Jay Money would say, smack city in this spot, in my opinion.
Great to have Jay Money in the chat. I'd like to hear what Pete thinks after this breakdown, but first, want to give a big shout out to Matty Ice Star, the Taint play of the day. He's on Butler, UConn over 125. He's battling COVID right now. Matty, I'll keep in touch with you over the next little days. Everybody's symptoms are so different. It's just so wildly different. You never know what you're going to get. But thinking of you, man, we love you so much. So if we could all just take a second to send Matty Ice as much positive healing energy as possible and as much love as possible. We love you, Matty. Get better soon. Please keep us updated. But what a guy he is. What a guy he is. So we're sitting here capping, and someone asks about the taint. I'm like, well, we haven't heard from Matty. Of course, he's battling through COVID, listening to the show, capping. What a guy he is. We love you so much, Matty. Thinking about you. Get better, get better, get better. What do you think here? Because we also have our guy Dan Kelly on the over and really liking that slight move against him. What do you think about all this, Pete? Vanderbilt over 7.5 points. I believe you got that at plus 104, right, Wham? Plus 104?
Yeah, I got it at plus 104. I got that at plus 104.
And
the Vanderbilt Tennessee game.
No, Vanderbilt.
Oh, no, Jaren Vanderbilt. Jaren Vanderbilt.
And then
he's hit this total over 5 straight times.
Then we have Josh, who got on the Wolves at minus 1.5. We have Dan Kelly on the over. Is anything jumping out at you here, Pete?
Well, I was going to make that joke. I was going to be like, I'm really loving the Minnesota team total over. And then when you went for my analysis, I would have been like, because Dan Kelly likes the over, and he also is leaning Minnesota as well. So, maybe Minnesota team total over based purely on that. It does seem like, I don't know, looking at the spot, maybe just because the spot, Knicks first quarter, maybe, they're coming off the loss, and Minnesota is coming off the 20-point win over Golden State. That's an impressive result. So, my first thought was definitely Knicks first quarter. Because of that, seeing Dan Kelly's analysis, I'm thinking Golden State team total over 107.5. Last time these two, we were talking about the pace earlier, and the last time they met, it was very low scoring, right? So this one, probably
they
figures
had nobody
to be
in that game too. I'm sorry, Pete. I'm sorry, Pete. Bring that up too, but
no, go
they
ahead.
Didn't have nobody in the last meeting. Like it wasn't no Ant Edwards. It wasn't D'Lo. It wasn't even Vanderbilt. Wasn't even there. It was nobody.
There you go. See, I had zero clue about that. I'm glad you interrupted. So I would be thinking maybe based on my own thoughts, Minnesota Knicks first quarter, but that's probably something you should ignore. And Minnesota team total over 107.5. Not that bad. Does New York D up at home? I don't know.
Let's take a look at what we are dealing with from the cash flow in this spot, and then we'll move on. We have not been using this for NHL, and I like that we haven't been. But let's see what we're dealing with here in NBA. It can be helpful. Sorry, let me just log into my sports insights. Here we go, live odds, and here we go to the NBA. Those of you curious what's going on in NFL, we'll go over that. And wow, you guys guessed it, and we have Jay Money in the chat looking like he's on the Wolves. I mean, he hasn't said that, but he did give us some Wolf. What are they called? Icons? What the fuck are they called? 71% of the tickets on the Wolves, 90% of the cash on the Wolves.
Wow.
Spread. From a money line perspective, 90% of the tickets on the Wolves, 80% of the cash. 53% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the over, yet it's dropped a half point. See, I'm with you. I wish Edwards and Russell didn't have such a bad game last watching the second unit run. That's probably going to keep me off the Knicks early because it wouldn't surprise me if they just have the touch early. But I think the over is the spot. Would you be concerned about the Knicks having tired legs late? Wham, would you prefer a first half over than a full game over?
In this spot, I have to look at the split. Is it one of those totals that actually splits down the middle on the first half, or you're getting a little bit more edge to the second half to come out hotter, and they're giving you what would be the look of that total, like the full game total? I didn't look at that.
The first half is at 109.5. The full
I
game
see it.
at 213.5. So they're expecting a higher scoring first half.
Right. So you know what? In both of this, and I didn't mention as well, these guys, Minnesota over the last 5 games, they're number one in efficiency and offensive rating. And they're like, I think number one in net rating as well. Just playing on both sides, you know what I'm saying? And coming off that win, it is impressive. But you think about this matchup just solely, just this matchup particularly, I think you're going to see them kind of wire to wire. I think you're going to see the Knicks play in this spot. It's what we've seen all year. They play really well, in a national setting. You feel me? I'm not sure if this is going to be a national game or not. But this being at the Garden, this can be just still one of those games that get amplified just based off of that alone. So I could see them having Fournier, like I was saying, make those shots that we've seen that was heroic earlier on this year,
I think that's an interesting point. I mean, I guess I'm leaning towards the first half over, but I think you guys are right. The Wolves team total over seems to me like the spot. Ray Charles, courtside seats, says I'm seeing some big money recently came in on the Knicks tonight. Those numbers just mentioned of Minnesota getting 66% and under just got hit hard too. I don't have that here. So Sports Insight has 6,922 tickets in, 71% of the tickets on the Wolves, 90% of cash. So we'll take a look after we break down the final game. Dan Kelly says, generally speaking, where tired legs are seen, if they're seen at all, is their opponent's total going over in the second half and the fourth quarter.
Dan motherfucking Kelly. Hell yeah. Shout out to Dan Kelly.
Chris Martinez says T-Wolves been good on the road as a fave and Knicks have been bad at home as dogs. All right, so there is Wham is on Vanderbilt over 7.5 points at plus 104. And I'm looking at the first half over and the Wolves team total over. Ray Charles says that's on Wager Talk's live board from Pinnacle. Okay. I get it. It's tough to decide what sites to trust. One costs over $1,000 a year. I'm not saying that means that Sports Insights is the site to trust, but it does cost over $1,000 a year. The other one's free.
You dig. Talk your shit, Jimmy.
But still, even saying that, of course, that would lead you to believe that the one that costs a lot of money would be more accurate. But
you ever had like a $15 burger versus a $1,000 burger? The $1,000 burgers are horrible.
Right, we've seen it before. Yeah, exactly. We've seen it before. We've seen it before.
But in all honesty, I hear you, Rachel. I don't know we don't know really.
Right. That's true.
Okay, let's Northern Sports Insights 100%. That's what I would lean to, but I'm not going to sit here saying Oh, that's the who really knows. All right, let's move on to the second game on the card. Detroit Pistons at Golden State Warriors. We've had Dan Kelly come in with Detroit plus 15 and Detroit Golden State over 216 and a half. And I imagine that total is somewhat predicated on the idea that it's up to 218 and a half. Great job, Dan. Somewhat predicated on over whether Steph Curry will be in the lineup. Wolves, Knicks, Madison Square Garden, New York. Oh, sorry. That's what the hell is that here? How did I do that? Sorry. Warriors, Golden State Warriors, Chase Center, San Francisco. Pistons are 3-2, 17th in pace, 97.7 possessions a game, while the Warriors are 2-3, 7th in pace at 100.50 possessions a game. Pistons lost their second in 3 games, 135-108 at home versus Suns on Sunday. They want to be showcasing Jeremy Grant here on this Western swing. They're going to get a ton for him at the deadline, but he's not ready to go from that thumb injury. He's still rehabbing with the Motor City Cruise of the G League. Warriors lost their third in 4 games, 119-99 at Minnesota without Steph on Sunday. Draymond Green now out at least a month with the disc issue in his back. Steph Curry with the hand injury. He hasn't been shooting very well, and he's expected to be good to go. He says he's going to test it during warm-ups. We know that Weissman undergoing further arthroscopic procedure on his knee. Dan Kelly says, I got the 216.5 just before the show started, so that line move was quick and big. Take it away here, Wham Bam, and then we'll hear if Pete is leaning towards something. Pistons Warriors.
Yeah, man, it seemed like an over to me too, man. And I haven't bet this game at all. As far as the props that I do like a lot of props in this game, to be honest with you. So I just go over a few of them here, and we're obviously going to have a show today, NBA Pub Hub, once I finalize more bets here. But as far as this game, I think that the Detroit Pistons possibly cover this game. You know, it's tough to say this because I think Ski said this before. You don't want to go against Golden State Warriors because they're a good team and they got their guys coming back and falling into spots. This could definitely be one of those games that I was expecting for Klay Thompson to have a bounce back game. We've seen him struggling, countless time, but let's just say he's been playing a little bit better defense than we're just going to see tonight. As far as what you're seeing from this Detroit team, as far as Golden State Warriors in its perspective, as far as them covering the spread, I would say this: they have a better chance covering in the 15 rather than the first half for sure. So if I was to take Detroit in any way, I probably would be thinking more on the first quarter money lines type of things, or first quarter spreads or first half spreads, because I just think that you're going to see the Warriors maybe even start off slow, or you're going to see them start off fast and blow them out wire to wire. So I think they're going to hold it down in the second half, regardless whatever happens in the first half. So that's why I would say more so the full game spread. But in this game, no man at all, bro. Like, I like K Cunningham. I like K today. I like K, to continue to do what he's been trying to do as far as lead this team. This is a definitely good showing for him. Going up against the Warriors, knowing that they're a top team. I think K goes over the 16.5, hits the threes, and goes over the assists. I think it may be even a triple-double spot for him today. It may be one of those good nights. I do like that maybe Orlendick is coming back as well for the Pistons. So if he comes back, that's just adding another guy that can make threes, stretch the floor out, allow the driving lanes to be a little bit more cleared up. Right now they just have, big paint guys like Isaiah Stewart and other big guys there. So I think it'll open them up a little bit more. But even though I like Trey Lyles, don't get me wrong, but I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, for the most part, I like Cunningham today. I do like Andrew Wiggins. I do like as far as Klay Thompson as well. I think Klay Thompson does hit the threes today. It makes sense to me for him to be able to do it. I think the defense is just going to be a little bit more lax against the Pistons rather than what the teams that he's been facing up so far this year. So that's the way I'm thinking here.
Damn. Some great comments coming in, Jimmy the Bag. Sam Culmer says, I saw that this year, the Warriors, when rested at home and off a loss, 15-2 ATS. Then you got Dan Kelly saying sprinkle on Detroit money line at 10-1. And then Andrew Cole saying Pistons first quarter. Hearing everything together, I'm thinking maybe Pistons first quarter sounds good, and maybe Pistons team total over as well, because Dan Kelly also, of course, liking the over. I'm just sitting back and listening to Trot Wam and watching the comments roll in. I'm thinking maybe Pistons first quarter, maybe Pistons team total over.
I have an affinity for these big dogs in the first quarter at +5 here, with Steph coming back from the hand injury. Who knows what you're going to get? And then that Pistons team total over does make sense to me. Does make sense that this will be a game with pace. It's at 101.5 here at my book. I wonder what it's at Pinnacle. But both those spots make sense to me. Is there anything that you want to make official here, Wham?
If it was anything, it would be the assist, but I haven't made the bet yet, so I'll just save it off. I'll tweet you out the next for sure. The pick that I give out though for sure. It most likely will be the assist for Cade. I think these guys find a way to make do. And then don't get me wrong, I do like Kelly and Hayes assists as well, but it's just not enough play time for me, especially with Olynyk coming back. It may throw off the playmaking tier for the team. So that's the way I'm looking here as far as Cade assists. I think Olynyk helps him for sure if he's announced in.
Yeah, and God.
The Pistons are okay offensively, Trot Wam, right? They're not terrible, right?
I mean, let's be honest, man. It's for the season.
Honesty is all we do here.
Let's be honest. For the year, they're not that good. They're not.
Oh boy, okay.
They're not that good. They're not that good. But as far as like what you've seen from them lately, you haven't been seeing that bad as far as lately. Let me pull it up here. 26th, which isn't that bad compared to what they are for the season. For the season, let me see. I just had it up here, and let me confirm it for you. For the season, they're 30th. They're dead last. You know what I mean? So for 26, it's not even that bad. You know what I mean? You could possibly find your way as a cover. And I believe that the assists maybe even more of an official play for me, because I believe that he's going to be distributing the ball, and it's going to be low as well. So that's the reason why. But other than that, team total over, I understand that it's really low. Yeah, shout out to Dan Kelly. He said he liked the money line. Just sprinkle it. I don't think I heard Dan Kelly say Detroit money line enough in my life. I think I heard him say it a few times, and he cashed like a few of those times. Yes, for sure. So I haven't seen him say it enough. So let's look and see what's happening, man. I'm not going against it for sure. I'm not taking a 15. That's what I'm not doing.
Yeah, I guess I lean towards that first quarter +5, but I think let's just close on this question to you, Wham, here. Nut Flush Allen, whom we love, and he's such a great capper, says, don't think for a second with the Warriors being in the spotlight that they won't want to show off with buckets. Is that enough to get you off of the Pistons first quarter +5?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what it really is? It's like I could see them hitting those threes, being very nice, but without Draymond, their defense is totally different, and we really didn't pick up on that enough. You know what I mean? Like, he really isn't just any other guy that you're missing out of your lineup. You know what I mean? So without him, it's shown for us, at least in my opinion, that without with just Andrew Wiggins out there, maybe you get Kuminga and you get those other guys to play really athletic plays, but you just don't want to do that, in my opinion. I think it's evident that it may be a little bit hot spot. It's one of those shockers, though. One of those shockers. Don't get me wrong. That's why I like Dan Kelly's comment, because it's one of those shockers, man. But it might be the real play here. The 5. You said 5.5. I didn't even look at the 5.5. I was thinking more money line. Like, they're gonna win the straight game, like +200. Like, let me just get that, bro. That's how I'm feeling, bro.
Pistol. Is there anything you want to make official here? Wham, we're going to keep an eye on his action, but I am leaning towards making moves on both these games. Wolves, Knicks first half over, and Wolves team total over. And then Pistons first quarter +5 and Pistons team total over 101.5. A lot of that correlating with the great Dan Kelly. Pete, is there anything that you want to make official here?
You're leaning Pistons first quarter, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Gosh, that is tempting. You know what? I'll throw on the Pistons team total over. I'm seeing 101.5 minus 102 at Pinnacle. You can put that official. Sure. Pistons team total over 101.5 minus 102. I definitely what Sam Culmer and Nutflesh Allen are saying are really jiving with each other, and so that way, yeah. Eric Jones saying 120 to 101. So that'll be frustrating if that happens, if I lose the team total by a half point. But yeah, Nutflesh Allen, in my opinion, still just going to be a great offensive game. Dan Kelly also liking the over. But Nutflesh saying that the Warriors, we want to show off offensively, which makes a lot of sense. And then Sam Culmer comes in with his stat that jives with all of that. So maybe the Warriors win by 25, but the Pistons team total sneaks over anyway. I'll take it 101.5 minus 102.
Eric Jones, I don't think anybody's saying Detroit shooters will outshoot Golden State, but 5 points is a lot in the first quarter. And if we're expecting a high-scoring, fast-paced game on national television, then why wouldn't the Pistons be able to hit triple digits? I mean, that's all we're asking is triple digits here. Look, we know that when you mess with the Warriors at home in the national spotlight game, you're playing with fire. So we don't mean it. And then we had Pete straight up ask, are the Pistons good offensively? And Trot Wam straight up said no. So none of us
he was honest.
They'll outshoot the Warriors. But I do think they can get to triple digits. And okay.
Tonight's the night, man.
It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun night. And we love you, Eric Jones. So I just want to clear that we're not saying that anybody in Detroit is going to be able to outshoot these dangerous Warriors. And Sweaty Butcher already on that over there. Trot Wam can be seen today at 4 p.m. Eastern on the NBA Pub Hub. We love you, Wham Bam. Follow him on Twitter at Trot Wam. Right now, he's only official plays Vanderbilt over 7.5 points at plus 104. But I will be keeping an eye on his Twitter, and after he breaks down all the games on the NBA show, we'll hear what he has to say.
What? I didn't add the -3. I'll take the -3 with the Timberwolves as far as official play. Okay. And I want to do the run line calculator here, like the way you could do if you guys could do that. If not, then it's totally fine. I could just do 1 unit each. That's totally fine as well. Money line and the -3, that'll be perfect too.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, we can't do that here with the spread and the money line.
Yeah, that's cool.
But let's see what we can give you. Wham, I'm gonna line shop for Wham when this is over here and get Wham the best possible on the Wolves. So Wolves.
Yeah, because I hopped on the -1.5 last night. I didn't even feel like I probably should get that out, but I am on the Wolves though. You know what I'm saying? I am on the Wolves. It's Max City for sure. I believe that.
I love it, Wham Bam. Thank you so much for rolling with us. Have a great show this evening. Know that you're loved. Any last words for the Great Capper Sport in the show?
Oh man, appreciate you guys for having us, man. Pubs Rush Radio. You already know NBA Pub Hub. Shout out to Pete, the legend. NBA expert as well, Jimmy the Bag. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
We love you, Wham Bam. Much love, and thank you for rolling with us. All right, so we do have a couple more things. First, let's go over our man, Matty Ice. But before we do have another picture of a Margaret Thatcher Demko. Right there, Margaret Thatcher Demko making a huge save there and waving high at the same time. There's Margaret Thatcher Demko fighting the good fight. Oh, Margaret Thatcher Demko. And then we have our Matty Ice taint play of the day. Matty Ice's taint play of the day is Butler Yukon over 125. Over 125. That is the taint play of the day. So let's review all action here. And Pete, it's so great to have you back. We missed you.
It's so great to be back, except for the inevitable, unavoidable stress after the show of having like 8 friggin' public picks. And I'm like, I like my picks overall. But what if they go 1-7? If they do, it's just life. It's all an illusion, a dream anyway. Who cares? I care. And it's fun to care.
Well, Pete, you've been so strong on the show. We track all of your picks, and you're way up with a double-digit ROI on the show. Very, very, very impressive, and we love you. All right, let's go over action here in NHL. We have both stayed off of the Willie O'Ree jersey retirement, but we are so happy for every hockey fan what Willie O'Ree had to go through and how he led by example and played without an eye. I mean, the guy's just such a great story. Those of you who don't know the story of Willie O'Ree and what he had to battle against, and we're retiring his jersey, and it's a big, big deal. But that Hurricanes Bruins game is very tough, and we are off of it. Pete's on the Ottawa team total over 3.5 minus 105 before the show, before a 50-cent move on the Senators because of their sixth-string goalie being in there. I'm on the Senators -1. I got minus 106 on it. Then Pete's on the team total over 2.5 on the Winnipeg Jets at minus 129. I'm on the Islanders -1 at plus 124. No, they won yesterday. Expect them to win again today. Pete's on the Canucks team total over 2.5 at minus 115. I'm on the Canucks money line at plus 125. Big move towards the Canucks there. And again, we have Margaret Thatcher Demko between the pipes, trusted and loved. Look at the save she's making there.
Big save. Credit where credit is due.
Huge save. Absolutely huge save from Margaret Thatcher Demko. Pete is on the Stars -1 at minus 240. I'm on the Stars puck line minus 105. That was minus 130 as soon as the show started. And I only locked in at 8:30 this morning Eastern. So, and then Montreal Dallas over 5.5 minus 110. I'm very interested to see if that come back, because I still think that Holtby's not a strong goalie and that it hasn't moved. So that's juiced to the under now, and that's not a good sign for me. And Dallas has not been playing well, and they don't have Jason Robertson. Maybe that's a mistake. Panthers Flames, no move for me on Panthers Flames. Panthers have been bad on the road. Flames have lost 4 straight and been bad at home. And Daryl Sutter is a hell of a hockey coach who can get any team motivated. I expect him to get motivated to get these.
Can I quickly answer a quick question, Jimmy the Bag?
Yeah, please do.
Dan Kelly's asking, Pete, what was the acronym you had for giving bets? The anxiety of giving out a bet was worse than the bet itself. You had an acronym for it that I loved. Yes, that was a syndrome that I invented and also diagnosed in myself. AIPP syndrome, which is all in on public plays syndrome, which is that when I give public plays, I emotionally feel like I'm all in, even if I've only bet $2.50 on it. AIPP. Syndrome.
AIPP, I like it. I like it.
AIPP.
Let's review Dan Kelly's act. So that's our NHL card. We've left alone the Lightning Kings, although I do have interest on the Kings first period. I've got to stop trying to beat the Lightning. Even though it wouldn't surprise me if the Kings come out angry, I just got to stay off that. Dan Kelly's on Minnesota New York Knicks. He got over 214 before the show started. It's now 218. He said it was 216 before the show started. Is it 216 now, or did it go to 218? Sorry, let me just yeah, it's at 218.5 now. Wow, and he got 214. He's also on Detroit Golden State Warriors over 216.5. Oh, that's what I was looking at. My fault. So it is still at 214. My fault. Take that back. That Minnesota New York total is still at 214. He got 214. The Detroit Golden State Warriors, he got 216.5 before the show started. It's now at 218.5. And he's also on the Pistons plus 15. That's Dan Kelly's action. Wham is on Vanderbilt to score over 7.5 points, plus 104 for the Wolves, and he's on the Wolves -3 in the spread money line. I'm going to line shop for him. Yeah, my bad, Dan. Sorry, my bad. And then I think I'm moving on the first half over and the Wolves team total over. That's what I'm going to be doing. Then Pete, lone official playing NBA's Pistons team total over 101.5. I like that look, and I like Pistons +5. I like that look as well. Then Lamont Williams' max bet is in Florida State full game under 144.5. Pete moved on Wisconsin first half -1, Ohio -1, and Iowa State team total over 61. Max moved on Wisconsin first half -1, full game -2.5 -114. Fresno State -2.5 -109. Iowa State +8 at -103. Michigan -6.5 at -110. And he's in the under in the St. Peter's Canisius game under 134.5 -107. The market's moved. Well, it opened at 131.5, so I guess they got it at the right time. And the taint play of the day is Butler UConn over 125. And now we have the hottest. I guess Ron Crawford should be considered the hottest capper on the show, winner of 6 straight. But the most successful capper on the show right now, Jose Buquette, going to put a bow on this with his Say Hey play of the day. And with his great success, we are all ears. Jose, what is your Say Hey play of the day, my man?
Hello. It's nice to see you guys again. Pete, especially, it's nice to see you again. I would love to see Jose Buquette
and Ron Crawford in a handicapping contest against Dan Kelly and Ski Profit.
We'll body bag him.
Not bad. You think so, huh?
Yeah, me and Ronnie McGee.
Okay, I like the attitude.
Yeah, I owe Ski a steak or two, but me and Ron will definitely take him out here. Let me tell you that. Pete,
That's the only thing that's held him back is this steak situation.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak. 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 Everybody gets a steak.
He does owe a lot of steaks, Pistol. Not one to you, but hopefully you're going to be one of them soon.
Okay.
And you know what's scary? I have to pay those steaks here soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
I've been saving, and I've been telling Helga, I was like, we think we're moving out. I'm actually going to have to pay off a bunch of steak to a bunch of old men.
Old men. Well, it will cost you 1 month's rent, I believe.
Yeah,
but take it away, Jose. What is your say hey play of the day?
Yeah, so I've had success in the NHL, seemingly. I don't know, Jim. You probably don't have my records categoried off into NHL and stuff, but I'd love to know what my NHL record is separately, because we said at the beginning of this year that I'm not a good NHL capper, but it seems like I might have a positive record in NHL. Who knows? And I'm going there again today.
I can check that out. That's not hard. You haven't made too many bets in NHL. What is your move in NHL today?
Well, I'm doing another Jose parlay today, and I'm being a homer, of course, and I'm listening to the elders on the other pick and trying to, gravitate to the winning victory. This is a plus 200 parlay, which I thought was pretty interesting on 2 minus 130 shots here. So we'll start with the first one. Of course, and yes, I'm sorry, Dennis, NHL without the mask. I'm trying to be very serious, Dennis.
And
we're being very serious cappers right now.
We respect
but thank you. Willie O'Ree, like you said, first black NHL player. Taking the Bruins. The Bruins have been hot. Jimmy, I spoke to you a couple days ago, I believe it was. Said Bruins coming back. And now it seems like they're back. So I'm going to go ahead and take them money line. I've got a friend who's a Canes fan, so I hope that they lose here. It'll be a fun game to watch. I believe it's an early game, too, or not the early game, like the first NHL game. It's first on my sheet, so that's why I say that. And my second game is the Winnipeg Jets team total over, 2.5. Pete, you liked it. I trust you here. Can I name a Winnipeg Jet? No. However, I know when Pete, I can cap the cappers, as Jimmy, you like to say.
Mm-hmm.
I know when Pete's feeling good about a bet, just like how I know when you're feeling good about a bet. And I'm going to take that team total over 2.5. Put them together, you get a plus 208 parlay. No problem. Easy money there, hopefully.
All right, and you know what? If Boston wins and I don't make it official, I'll be so frustrated. I've made a lot of progress when it comes to being a pussy about my official plays here. I've made a lot of progress, not perfect, but a lot of progress. You can throw that on Jimmy the Bag. Boston money line minus 135 official play. I'll be there with you, Jose Bouquet.
Arm in arm, Pete. Arm in arm.
There we go. There we go.
What's that, minus 131?
135. I'm seeing that now at Pinnacle. Probably shop around and get a few cents, but I'll take that one.
Bruins money line minus 135. Jose parlay Bruins Jets team total over 2.5. You should know Winnipeg Jet though, Jose. Let's have you remember and know forever Dale Hawerchuk, the best Winnipeg Jet in history. He died of cancer a couple years ago. Just spectacular hockey player. One of the best hockey players in the history of the sport. And hell of a guy, too, beloved. Yeah.
I just remembered one. Patrick Laine.
Don't use Patrick Laine in the same sentence with Dale Hawerchuk ever again. But do remember Dale Hawerchuk as you support the Winnipeg Jets. He's a hell of a hockey player, hell of a man.
I'm surprised I didn't get cut there.
57 years old. He died way too young, and is just beloved in the NHL. Okay, parlay Bruins Jets team total over 2.5, and that came out to what, Jose?
Plus 208.
Plus 208. There you go. Bruins Jets team total over 2.5 plus 208. And Pete adding the Bruins money line minus 135. Jose, great stuff. Love you, man. And let's just go over his record one last time because it's very, very good. 82-74 on this show, 52.6%, plus 13.65 units, ROI plus 8.75%, average line plus 105. And he was on a little 4-game winning streak before the NFL took him out. So,
Yeah.
good stuff.
NFL just maybe ain't for me, huh? Maybe I should just stick to my sticky puck and shooty hoops, I guess. So, and Jim, by the way, I think I can tease something. I know you got that hand there ready. I'm gonna tease something real quick.
Shooty hoops, Jesus.
When the spring comes along, I think you'll be seeing a lot more of me. And it might be without you, Jimmy. So I just want to give you guys that tease to begin with now. Maybe a little more of me and a little less of Jimmy, perhaps. But of course, Jimmy will be there, and we'll be still doing our thing. But I'm cutting him out, is what I'm saying, guys. Cutting him out.
I love it.
Jose Bouquet, smiley 8th grade look to him, but he's cold. Cold. Cold as ice.
There he is, Jose Bouquet, with a little hint of what is to come. Great stuff, Jose, and many blessings. And North Ender says the Golden Jet, Bobby Hull up there, too. You're absolutely right. I was thinking of it when they were an NHL team, but you're absolutely right. WHA, Winnipeg Jets, Bobby Hull, $1 million contract in hockey.
I have a friend that really hates the Winnipeg Jets because he's a big Atlanta Thrashers guy. So or is that what they were called? I think they were called the Thrashers. But yeah, no, I have a little bit of a resentment towards the Jets. And plus, I'm an honorary Canuck too, Jim. I've adopted the Canucks as a little pet project of mine, hoping they get better one day. So it's fuck all the other Canadian teams besides Connor McDavid and go Canucks.
Okay. Well, there was some.
And by the way, I'm very also positive Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson. You're wrong about that. They're good.
Well, Quinn Hughes having a very good season. He's been very, very good. Very, very good. It's hard to understand how he could have been that bad last year if he's so good this year. But I hear what you're saying. Nice job. And I did not pull you out. It took a lot to not pull you out today. It was really, really hard. But your record deserves it. Pistol Pete, any last words for these great cappers before we put a bow on this?
Who is this Jose Bouquet, Jimmy the Bag? Maybe there's a lot more than meets the eye. That's my last one. We gotta keep an eye on this guy, right, Jimmy the Bag? What's going on here? That's my last word. Those are my last words. He's very impressive guy. A little bit scary guy.
He's been winning, and that's the most important thing here. And he's got a little parlay here.
8th grade vibe, cold.
Exactly. I did not bring my tie this week, Pete, and I'm sorry about that. Next week, perhaps in my upcoming thing, maybe you could be involved. Like I said, we're cutting out Jimmy. Maybe you can be involved. Maybe I'll throw you an olive branch. Maybe you can see what we can do together, Pete. Who knows?
Very interesting. It's a vicious world. is dedicated to coming out on top.
We gotta go here. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. North Ender, Pro Buddies, Nerf, Kyle Hintley, and Mr. Gogster, Pipe Brandy, Dan, Kelly, Nut Flush, Alan, Sammy, Calmer. Again, you're gonna see Mr. Gogster here very, very soon. Fat Wally, Dennis Garcia, Lance LaRose, PG 00187, Marco Lou, the Sweaty Butcher, Joshua Chipman. Thank you guys so much. Let's have a big start to the week. That's what's most important. Let's get that cash. Let's get rolling, build the bankroll, and earn the right for higher units. Kyle Hintley, and much love, my man. On behalf of all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, thank you so much for your support. Let's get that cash. Let's shake. Hey, those bookmakers. Let's